How you all doing? Welcome to Midweek. Give you a bit of an extended intro there.
That was a very big extension of an intro there.
I was hoping I was stalling for Mr. Tushi, but it didn't work. You know, he's still
Oh right. Oh, when you've had that many Savaloys, it's not a 5-minute job. Trust me.
Oh, he sent us a video on what he was having earlier. I couldn't believe it.
I'm glad you said what he was having and not what he was leaving.
No. I will make my own intro at some point. You know, working on making it better. Welcome, Z Black Rider. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome, Shizno Elite. Welcome, the Dazinator, aka
Dazzy baby.
Welcome, Indie Gamer. Welcome to Shizno. Welcome, Masuku. Welcome,
Tushi. Nice to see you in the chat.
Is it?
Yes.
Welcome. Thanks for Welcome. So what else we're going to list? Welcome. That's it at the minute. Mr. It is Mr. Tushi.
Yeah, yeah.
In. Well, there's a link in the DM, Mr. Tushi. It works all the time.
Oh dear.
I'll resend it if you want. Add me in. So welcome to the Christmas special unscripted.
Best way to be.
Yeah. If you want to check out a good gaming website, you see it in the corner, bg4ghub.com. Independent reviews, news, opinion pieces, and podcasts and more. Please check it out. So how is everyone in the chat? Are you all ready for Christmas? As this is the Christmas Eve today.
Oh yeah, I'm doing well. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm doing what every dad probably is doing. I am after this having a quick word of Santa and see if we can try together and basically wrap some presents up.
Oh, it's all done.
Oh yeah, we knew there's always going to be bloody one person who's I've done it. I did it in January.
Proudly say, I haven't wrapped one present this year, which I don't often wrap presents at all, because I use the trick of I'm rubbish at wrapping. So
my missus does that, and she says you do it so well, and it's basically me wrapping every single bloody present.
It's Mr. Tushi coming in.
He's probably wrapping presents.
Mr. Tushi, have you located your microphone? Sorry, carry on. You're enjoying wrapping presents up, are you?
I actually do. As strange as it is, I do have a little bit of a... Yeah, I like to get... I guess I'm a little bit anal. I like to get, the pieces look nice and square and wrapped perfectly. And if you have an odd-shaped present, I do then try and like to work out how things... I know I'm weird, but it gives me a little bit of joy. And,
I might have sent you the wrong one. Sorry. You're not showing us back.
That doesn't surprise me. You probably sent him the other one, didn't you?
Well, what happened earlier was I left the studio by mistake to see if my mic was right. Because I've got so many scheduled streams, I went into the wrong studio and wondered where they all were.
I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I am present wrapping tonight.
Stubbs Tea and Savaloy Appreciation Party. DM. Mr. Tushi.
He knows where to blooming go. The professionality here is superb. You can't beat it.
Oh, it's called unscripted.
Yeah, this only happens in chat when it's unscripted. It never happens when we're scripted.
Well,
what about you, Stubbsy baby?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I've been walking. I've been walking.
You've got off your bum and you started moving around the house. That's a good sign.
I'm not supposed to until like 1st of January, but I've been only moving with my frame, walking lightly, and I'm able to do it, because I think they're only playing the side of caution as to the 1st of January, but it's done my leg. It's done my leg no end of good. It's a lot stronger now.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing. Have you modded your frame yet? I can only assume it's one of those, elderly frames, little four walkers.
Yeah, it's one of them.
So have you modded it? Put any bells and whistles, put some gaming things, put some gear stickers on it, a flashing horn, maybe a little light, some tinsel around it, maybe,
No, there is some stickers on it, but they've got to be removed because when I can walk properly, I've got to give all this stuff back. It's only rent. It's free rental. It is off the hospital. Like you have to bring a company to come and pick it up from you. Welcome, Infinite. Stopping by. Yeah, you get it off the note. You do. Father-in-law made the ramp though. There's a ramp on our front door. There is. Welcome, VJ. How are you doing?
Hello there, Mr. Stubbs. Good evening to you. Good evening, Removable Sanity, and nice to meet everybody in the chat again.
Oh.
Have you been hitting it hard on the podcast front this week, VJ?
No, the last one I did was on Sunday just gone.
Oh, fair enough.
Bloody hell, that's almost.
All right?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
You feeling all right?
Much better, thank you.
Good.
Oh, I suspect. Yeah, you've given yourself a break by the sounds of it.
Oh, sorry, was that a question?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah, no. I think I've stepped up in the world. I've taken up cannabis and decided to take government handouts. I think that's just a much more blessed way to live.
A little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
It means you can spend a bit more time gaming as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hit those games with Tushi hard, know.
But the thing is, whenever I do podcasts, I truly find myself. I find myself in a disadvantage in the public eye. So I'm just trying to duck out of the way.
Not with us, matey. You're more than welcome and appreciated in this one, at the very least.
Oh,
it is a highlight every time I speak to you.
There you go.
Finally, he's here.
What's here? Oh my God!
He's arrived.
Am I echoing before we start?
No, you're fine this week. I think it was your mobile last week.
Well, I've got it in my laptop with the normal headphones. Hello.
I tell you what, Indy, you're not going to believe the video he sent us earlier of what he brought home for takeaway. It's astronomical. I mean, there was enough food there for my family, about 4 people, plus 4 or 5. I think there's enough for 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, but what you forgot to understand is that is for Christmas lunch as well.
That was just an afternoon buffet. That was. Do you want me to tell the chat what I brought home?
You can do.
I think you should. I think you should, Tushi. Yeah, you sell us Tushi.
I had large bag of chips, doner kebab. I had a tandoori chicken and doner kebab. Large fish, 2 savlois, and 2 scallops. I think it was. Was that it? Oh, and 24 Ferrero Schaefer pudding.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, I didn't eat it all, obviously.
Yeah, no, I said Indy because because do you remember when you watched Mr. Tushi's Community Spotlight? You were astonished at what Mr. Tushi eats. So I said you should have seen the video earlier of what he ate. Has it all gone?
No,
it will be by tonight.
There's half a bag of chips left, I think.
Well,
do you know what the problem is?
Half a bag.
The reason being why I eat so much, because years ago I'd done years of competitive bodybuilding, and I used to eat around 7,000-8,000 calories a day, and my body could take it. Well, obviously not now because I don't train anymore. I'm just fat now, but I can still eat the same.
Yeah, I have a very similar sort of issue. I was one of those young men who could eat anything and not put any weight on, and then all of a sudden 40 hits you, and you think you turn into Pavarotti. You know.
Oh look, I do now.
Skeleton
Fart. I
parade.
put 3 pounds on.
Yep. It's the joy of age, mate. It's the joy of age.
Well, from today's issues I've had, where I've gone deaf in one ear, VJ told me that to try a Savoy and it didn't work.
Didn't it?
No.
You actually tried it?
No, I was joking. I'm joking.
I know you think you are.
You think he stuck a Savoy in his ear just to see if that would perk up his hearing? Is that what we're trying to allude to here? And this was all at the request of VJ.
No, it was a joke. You didn't really say that. But the going deaf in one ear is true. It's fucking horrible.
Does it feel
Weird.
blocked? Does it actually feel like it is blocked, or is it just that it's just gone?
I think you need to get into the doctors or a late night pharmacy that can prescribe, because I think you've got an ear infection.
Well, I'm waiting on a phone call back from the 111 service. I'm still waiting for a call back.
You could be waiting. You'd be
4 in the morning.
Yeah, you could get a call in fucking 3 or 4 in the morning with them lot. I tell you.
Oh, someone giving Mr. Tushi a wet willy.
Yeah.
Welcome, Red Paul. Thanks for stopping by.
Dread.
Has anyone been playing any games this week?
Of course.
Yes.
Do you want to say what you've been playing?
I have been playing Cyberpunk. I think I've done about 3 hours this week. I haven't done much on it. I'm really enjoying it. I've had no issues this week. It's gone really well. I think I had one glitch last week. My first glitch last week, where I crashed into a cop car on my motorbike, and the bike stuck to the cop car, but it glitched me. I couldn't get off the bike, but because I'd hit the cop car, the cop started shooting me, and obviously I died, and then it respawned, and then I was fine. But it was just really weird. I couldn't get off the bike or anything. So I died within seconds. But
I had one earlier where I was at the junkyard or scrapyard or whatever it is. And my motorbike, because it's not realistic though, because you wouldn't really be able to ride a motorbike over all that stuff. But I got
Depends on what sort of bike.
I got stuck on the graphics, but then I reversed a little bit, and I got out of it. Luckily.
It all depends on the bike, Tushi. If you've got a scrambler, you can pretty much ride over anything.
that's true.
It wasn't one of them. If you play, well, no, you won't. I'm not ruining. No, if you play the game, you know what I was on about. But
I'll find out in about 2 days' time.
tell your missus, right? I want to play this game Christmas Day. There's loads of updates. The crew keep telling me I'm not going to be able to play this game. So can I just have it to do the updates?
It's honestly, it's at the moment, it's like a hawk that her and the kids are eyeing up the presents, and any movement towards it, I'm sure they've got a security camera or something like that. It is literally the alarms go off. I can't get near the bloody things. I can look at them. I can look at the presents, and that's about as far as it goes. But I shift an inch, and it's like she's got 6 hits. It's like 6 cents. It's like me and the thermostat. You know, the moment the kids move the thermostat, or the missus moves the thermostat a degree, I instantly know. And she's exactly the same thing with her and presents. So I'm like, yeah, all right, fine. I'll take the hit. Plus, you know, I'm hoping maybe there'll be another patch before it comes out.
I think there's been another one. I think. I can't tell anymore on my console because I've got it set so it downloads them now. It does it without asking me. So yeah, I can't tell.
What else I've been playing this week is I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves. Last night everyone was laughing at me because I was really pissed off. We'd done about 3 hour stint. We had loads of treasure on board. No joke, there's loads. We'd done. I think it's 3 voyages. We took down a couple. We raided 2 ghost ships as well. And when we was on the way to the outpost, we got destroyed, and we ended up sinking and losing everything. When we got back, we tried to get back to get the loot back, and then somebody took it all. But then it was kind of like a 3 hours wasted for nothing. But when they traded it in, because I didn't know, because we were all quite new to this game. When they cashed all the money, and I still got, I think it was 35,000.
But yeah,
We all four of us still got the money.
oh,
So yeah, I was quite relieved after. But
who was your crew last night then?
last night there was 6 of us, but we were switching in between 2 ships. There was me, VJ, Aminated Evil. There was Jamie Richardson, Masuko. That was, who else was there?
Killer Crow.
Oh, Killer Crow. Sorry, yeah, Killer Crow was on us as well. But Aminated Evil jumped on and swapped with Jamie. Come on our ship, and then Kinky Bear went on to the other ship. So it was good. It was good fun though.
Good to hear.
I haven't really been playing that much this week. I've been working quite a lot. We played Wreckfest and Rainbow Six Siege at the weekend. That was great. As Xbox put in the Xbox 4 put in the chat, he's bought Wreckfest.
He bought it. Well,
has he bought it?
I don't know because he keeps saying Wreckfest. And has he bought it? Xbox, have you bought it?
Looper, I'd love to go on with you one day. We have too many people want to come in. That's the problem. Oh, have you hit 300?
Yeah, 300 subscribers. Thanks, the Indie Gamer, for congratulating me. Yeah, it's been a bit of a milestone because I wasn't far off doing it, and like you made that post on Twitter saying I was literally 2 away, I think, and it took me 2 or 3. It was something like that, and you said, let's get Stubbsy to 300 before Christmas, and he done it. Thanks for that.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
But this weekend, I'm looking forward to getting back into Titanfall 2, though. That's been long overdue. That has. It's great fun. We can have up to a team of 16, so it should be good this weekend.
Is that going to be death? Is that multiplayer death, or are you going to go to like horde?
Well, it should be like a team deathmatch, won't it? That's all. It should be quite limited to what you can play with that size, because it goes like 6v6, 4v4, and so on. But you can have 8v8 on the team deathmatch. I had a look yesterday.
That is actually, see, I could play that. I mean, because I got this hard drive, I can transfer it. It's become so easy to change the game over now. Have you
seen how fast it takes and all?
Yeah, even with the old, it's obviously a new hard drive, but it's old technology. It's still quite quick. It's not that long. It doesn't take that long.
Yeah, it puts it into. I don't understand, because like, you think a lot that the read and write speed is like 50 or 60 megabyte on the Xbox One X. So you would have thought it would take a while, but I don't know what it is. It feels like it triples the speed with the Series X. Maybe I don't know. It's quick. I think I worked out it's about a gig a minute or something. So if you got like no, it's less than that.
Let's say that'd be 30 minutes.
10 gig a minute, I think it is.
There we go.
Is it something like that?
The main man in the middle.
That's better.
I'm joking.
It takes about 15-20 minutes to transfer like a 50-60 gig game, so it doesn't take that long.
Which is pretty good.
It is. Welcome, Killer Crow. You're not that late. This is just a fun chat. It's been a bit of a laugh already. I've messed up and everything. Earlier on, the show was late and it's my fault because I left the studio and I went into the wrong studio and I wondered where they'd all gone. And I realised it was the wrong one.
Well, I went to the wrong one as well, didn't I?
You did as well. No, it's because I sent you the wrong invite. I sent the invite out. I thought, where are they? Come on. I thought when I left the studio, I booted you all out, and obviously I didn't. What a mistake. Have you been playing anything else then?
No, that's been it really. I bought Commandos 2, the old PC game for the 90s. I haven't played it yet.
Oh yes, yeah.
I had that on PC many years ago, and
it's good. It's good, but they have done some things to it I wasn't happy with, I must admit. But yeah, it's still very playable, and it's actually quite surprising how enjoyable it still is, even back then. Because they haven't really adjusted anything much from the PC. They have done some bits to the graphics generally, but they've kept the majority of it. So
It looks better from what I can remember.
yeah, well, yeah, there is definitely upgrading the graphical aspects to it. Yes, definitely in that regards. But you know, the little tricks and tips. If you remember all the little ways you did the previous game, you can still use them. They haven't patched it. I suspect is probably the best way of saying it.
And I swear, Commandos too. I swear I had it free in a pack of cereal. I swear I did years ago.
A pack of cereal.
I swear, because
I don't ever remember Frosties putting in, floppy disks in the middle of their blooming
No, but you normally have to open them, though. Collect Sony tokens.
I had Desperados from them as well, the first one. I can't remember if it was a game you had to send off it. I can't remember. I'll have to Google it and have a look.
The only thing I ever got in terms of cereal was Ready Break, and it was a Choose Your Own Adventure by Stephen Jackson and Ian Livingstone.
Shit, that's my phone. Sorry.
Welcome, Prophet. Welcome. The man who's in Australia, he's in the future.
He'll eat
In the
Christmas
future?
for everybody else. Prophet's eating cornflakes. Yep, that was the only thing I ever got. It was that got me into Choose Your Own Path books. That did, I must admit. The old Ready Break coupons. But enough about that. We would find out what VJ was playing.
Ooh. Hello.
Here we go. I've just got it online now. There's a thing here. There's on mobygames.com. I've just looked at games bundled with cereal boxes, and they range from 1998 to 2006.
Cool, bloody hell!
You had things from Roller Coaster Tycoon, Monopoly Junior, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire from the early 90s, Battleship Surface Thunder, Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, Taz Wanted.
I used to play Roller Coaster Tycoon and bought all the expansions, and that was really good.
Yeah.
That was.
So, VJ, what was you been playing over so far?
Cyberpunk.
My bar of soap. I think Cyberpunk, and then when Mr. Tushi's around, normally it's Sea of Thieves. But today I've been.
Oh yeah.
But today I've been trying to get through the Gears of War 5 campaign. So that's pretty much.
Come on, it's about time.
Well, I was supposed to do it with Mr. Tushi, so you can blame him if I haven't done it as yet.
So Gears 5?
Gears 5, yeah. Campaign.
We will do it. Well, I've got 11 days off now, so we will do it. Oof. And we're planning, the four of us are going to be doing Hive Busters. 4-player co-op. That'd be fun.
Yes.
We'll do it straight through from start to finish.
Perfect.
So actually, so is it all four different characters?
Yep.
Yeah, not a robot.
So you'll be shooting. You can't be Dave. You can't be Dave no more.
Oh, I like Dave. That's why I like tactics. That's why I like tactics. So, you can still play as him.
I played as Dave in the Gears 5 campaign. I've been playing with VJ. My cousin and VJ were Kate and
Dell, was it?
Yeah, it was Kate and Dell, and I was. It's Jack in that. No, Jack's the first one before he gets damaged, isn't it? It's Dave after, isn't it?
Oh, I thought it might be Rodney.
Like that.
I absolutely love playing him. It's great. It's like having an open camera in photo mode while the game's all playing. Yeah. It's brilliant. It's not.
You can just literally fly everywhere.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I've got a few achievements as well, I think.
It is fun. I must admit, he is a fun character to play. But
I've never played as him. I haven't.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's missing out, honestly.
It would be good because once VJ's completed the game, and then done the Hive Busters DLC, we can do a Gears special talking about where we think the franchise will go.
Well, you're already happy now, aren't you?
I am. They've redeemed themselves for that Hive Busters. They have stepped it up, that studio. Good riddance to Rod Ferguson, I say. Things got better. Even though, to be fair, this DLC might have been made while he was there still.
Yeah, most likely. It's interesting though what they can do to start without spoiling it for VJs. It's going to be weird how they're going to start the story of the next one.
Yes.
Regarding the options you had at the end.
Yeah, but unless they make it canon, and then they can get out of it.
Do you know what I think what might happen? I think they might just do a quick cutscene at the start and just kill that one person.
Do you make it canon?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose, because it's going to make it it will take them a long time to make. Now, hang on, everybody. If you haven't seen the Gears 5 Hive Busters trailer, here it goes.
Ooh.
Right. Sorry to be late and all. We survived a horrific condor crash. Fought an endless horde of monsters from hell. And barely escaped with a life. But how's your day been?
Well, it's about goddamn time. Look, I know your past. That you've all suffered and struggled, but you've still got that fight in you. That's why you're here. Best of the best.
Whatever the mission, sir, we're in.
What? It's a high-risk mission. But if we get this right, we can wipe out those bastards, save the entire goddamn planet.
Get behind me!
I'll handle this! See you on the other side.
What the hell is that?
Well, that must be. I've never seen that before, and wow, is on what I'm going to say.
Yep.
I'm not really bothered. Look, if they get a copyright strike, okay. I've done it before, and nothing's ever happened. All they do is a lot of the time they don't give you a strike at all. They just claim your video if you ever make money.
Well, I must admit the trailer was absolutely good. What do you think, VJ?
I was just going to say I thought I was listening to a very young Billy Connolly.
I must admit that did bring a smile to my face to hear that the accent in, and I was like, "Oh, brilliant!" I must admit that was almost, you could have mistaken that for a new Gears.
No,
game.
You see what I'm saying? I kept saying it's like a new game.
But that's the question: are they bringing these people in? Maybe that's another direction or diverge storyline that they're going to try and cross over at some point. Maybe the next one.
Could be, but we'll wait till Mr.
We'll wait until we play it.
Yeah, I think Mr. Stubbs' Eye of Love has succumbed to the Gears DLC. Yeah. Oh, I bet not DLC. He'll get very upset.
He's gone. I don't like Gears anymore, so I love Gears.
Yeah, well,
with a little angelic
when the man at the top has gone, like we all say, management. The man at the top has gone. Everything's got better. So I see. Things have got better since a certain man left the studio. Rod Ferguson.
Don't argue with your affairs of the heart removable. Not to be interfered with.
No, I must admit, I was very impressed with it. It's It definitely looks very intriguing. I'll be interested in when we get a chance to play it with you lot. It'll be I wonder though, is one of those where you can switch characters every chapter, or you go through the chapter or the game as that one person if you're playing full player?
No spoilers.
Oh.
No, it's a question.
No spoilers.
Well, no, if you remember like Gears 5, you could switch characters, couldn't you? If you had a second person playing co-op, you could say, actually, I don't want to play Kate now. I want to play as the other person, and you switch. Was it every level or every bigger level?
You could if you went from the menu screen, you could change. If you loaded up your save, for example, you could pick whatever character you want to start with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just wondering whether there was something similar on this one. That's what I was asking.
I would have thought so.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Playing the campaign solo, you don't switch characters. Just so you know.
No. But if you're doing co-op, it would be no.
If you load your character up again, and you choose a different character, but it automatically shows my character for me. I don't even know if I had an option to change it. I'll have to look next time. I go in. Welcome, Pong Soul. Welcome, Mass Mayhem UK. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. You see BG4G Hub in the corner. www.bj4ghub.com. Please check it out for great interviews. I meant, oh God, this is unscripted. BG4G Hub for independent news, reviews, opinion pieces, and podcasts, and much more. Please check it out.
And please check out Mackie D's, sponsored by Tushi.
Yeah.
And the Sablo Association.
In general, when I pick trailers on this channel that I've played, I generally pick Xbox made trailers. I sometimes play that in the intro, and I generally haven't been touched in anything. So I don't think I've got anything to worry about. I pick Xbox Game Studios for a reason. They don't normally do it like that.
Anyway, VJ, you was describing what games you was playing.
Yeah.
I think I covered that really. I think the main game for me this week has definitely been Cyberpunk. I know that some quarters would have you believe it's still interesting to see, that some people believe it's a marvel, and others assuredly sort of cast their vote and declare that the game's total arse, if I'm quite honest. Cyberpunk really encapsulates that point. Wait, who's interrupting me?
Sorry.
How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. But sorry, go ahead, Mr. Starks. It's your show.
You're enjoying it, that's what we're saying.
Huh?
It's you've enjoyed it so far, from what you're telling me.
Yeah, that's pretty much my point. Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier pre-show, right, about Yakuza and the strength and depth of that game in itself. But I think Cyberpunk, one of the biggest things are we allowed to discuss Cyberpunk, Mr. Stubbs?
If you want to, you can. This is a bit of a random show. You can.
Are you sure? Because I didn't want to get kicked off or anything.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, it just seems that a lot of the discourse out there or people's opinions are kind of based on they expected the game to be something else, or almost like they'd seen the trailer several years ago, and then over the years it sort of morphed and sort of prayerfully speaking, I guess, and it hasn't quite come out how they thought it would do. Again, we're going back to subjectivity yet again. Be that as it may, for me at least, it's certainly well worth the entry fee charged. And as I always say, it pretty much just got me hook, line, and sinker. It's got me fully engaged and entertained. And as I was just referring to the conversation prior to going live about Yakuza, I'd like you to talk more about that. I actually didn't know it had a full-on Sega Rally arcade inside the game. So
yeah,
really,
I'm definitely looking forward. I'm definitely looking forward to playing that. But it's just like with Sea of Thieves, as Mr. Tushi mentioned, when he went off last night, because obviously he had to go to work, I carried on with Jamie, with Crow and Al Kinky Bear for about another 3 hours, I think. And
wow,
Mr. Tushi, you'll be proud, because it was me and Al who had to find the treasure, and I found a couple just like straight off the bat, first dig, and so did Kinky Bear. So yeah, we're getting very good at it now. So I've learned how to do the sales and whatnot. So yeah, becoming a proper pirate, shall we say.
Back on that Yakuza finger, when you said about the Sega Rally and you can play the whole game on there. Can you remember on was it Shenmue? Was it we used to have Super Hang-On in the arcade?
Yeah, well that's it's along those lines, and I was very surprised at how many mini games there are in there. I'm actually they've got the original Outrun, you know, the 2D car one. They've got a few games in there, and I was just like, Virtual Fighter, I think is in there.
Removable. Sorry, just one key, really good, important question I wanted to ask you: is the Sega Rally and Outrun both sit-down cabinets in the arcades?
The let me just answer. I think, if I remember correctly, the Sega Rally is, and I'm pretty sure it's one of these things. I walked past it and I was like, really? Oh my god, it is. And I think Outrun isn't, but I think the Sega Rally one is.
Fantastic.
Welcome to Gaming, and welcome Red Raven. Thanks for stopping by.
Mr. Tushi, it's just that Yakuza Games Judgment, and obviously this sort of slight tangent of a game, shall we say, in terms of combat, Yakuza Like a Dragon, they all have tons of mini games and loads of sort of items to collect, mini games to play, but not just arcade games. I played Judgment, and it was like darts and baseball, where baseballs are being fired at you and stuff like that. It's just, and they're all really, really well done. They're not gimmicky and they're not frustrating. Like the arcade games in The Tourist that you found frustrating, that I found frustrating. I think a lot of people found frustrating. They're not like that. They're not made supremely hard. They actually really have tried very, very hard to capture the arcade feelings. The arcade, the sort of how you pretty much remember it. Yeah, that's how they pretty much are. Yeah, spot on. Is that? Removable?
I would say, to be honest with you, it's almost as if you've got an emulator, except it's almost as good quality as the original. It is. Yeah, it's made by Sega, so I kind of they have those licenses to go along with those elements, and it's one of those things. It's just I just happened upon it, and I have some experience with the Yakuza titles, and they generally are a bit like Shenmue, where they do have these mini games in there. But just to see the full game in it, I was like, dear God, this is in itself. It is worth. The game itself is probably a hidden gem. If you're not really into Eastern games, I can understand why this is something you probably go, it doesn't look my thing. And to be honest with you, from the trailers, there is almost like a hidden sub-depth to the game, which it just doesn't mention. Which I think, I'm thinking about it now, I don't know how they would kind of show it off, because it'd probably be like a 15-minute trailer. There's so much there for you to play with, and it's just, in some cases, hidden. Some cases, it's just there for you to look at. I'm just, and again, it's the humor. They take the Mickey out of themselves, as well as they take the piss out of, everything else. It's, they take the, one of the elements I was speaking to you about is they've got a reference to Pokemon in there, but instead of Pokemon, they reference the game as Sujimon, and basically they classify the enemies you attack and beat is the Sujimon, and instead of capturing them, it's defeat them, and he gives you the exact same speech. If you're a Pokemon fan, you'll see the trainer explain that what he needs to do to the main character, and it's almost the exact same speech replicated for Sujimon, and it's just a tongue-in-cheek sort of humor. One aspect to it is where you see a guy come up to the main character, and you see him try and speak to the guy, and he's like, "What the hell are you talking?" And he's like, "Oh, you're speaking English," and you see it from the other guy's perspective, where he's like going almost like this broken English, and the other guy goes, "Well, I can't really speak to you." So another random NPC comes up and goes, "I can speak English. I'll translate for you. And the very first thing he does is basically start shouting at the guy and pointing, something we as foreigners are well known to do. How do you speak to a foreigner, someone in a different language? You shout loudly. It's these little hidden, I don't know, humoristic mannerisms that's thrown in the game that, to be honest with you, it just endeared me from the game straight off. I mean, and it's just wacky, really, really wacky. One of the guys I can summon to help me out at any point is a guy who wears diapers.
What?
Mr. Tushi.
I'm not joking. I am not joking. His fetish is to act like a baby, and I can summon him to come in and beat up the people I'm attacking. It's just absolute craziness, and this is just probably only the small hint, but it hits in some very with this kind of wackiness to it. It also hits a lot of adult themes as well, So it's brilliant. For me, it's like a hidden gem. It's one of these things I did not expect I was going to fall for that hard.
It's interesting you mentioned the trailer, because unfortunately, even back when the first Yakuza came out, the trailers find it really hard to sort of lend color to the vision of the game, and the quality of the writing is incredibly it's outstanding. As good as Cyberpunk is, I still go back to how well written the Yakuza games are. It's incredible, and on all of the things that you've described still barely scratch the surface and the nuances of what the game has to offer. And through a trailer, yeah, you're right. You may say, yeah, this is very Japanese. It's maybe the culture's maybe a bit too far off for me to even understand. But once you actually land in the game, start roaming around the city and so on and so on. Kamurocho, is it still based in Kamurocho?
Yep, actually, you move to a different province. Right. I think there's 3 different provinces you're allowed to play around with.
Understood. And not the sort of provinces you're thinking about, Mr. Tushi. So just so it's not you. And you're only allowed to play with that thing on sort of blessed days of the year, like Christmas Day, maybe Easter Sunday, and your birthday. Anyway, so yeah, I think that the game has so much to offer. And does it still have those arcade machines? I don't know if they're not arcade machines, where you've sort of got the claw and you've got to direct it and then pick up.
Oh, they have them. Yeah, they've got the claws there. You can actually pick up little. I've actually got two teddy bears. Yeah. I actually had the claw machine, and it's which I can carry around, and there is so much more into the game. And I'm only scratching the surface because I've only been in it about. Well, you've seen VJ every time I've been on. You tell me you play it still. I'm like, yeah. No, I'm barely scratching the surface of it. I think there is.
And it's not about the. It wasn't about the game itself, but what I was just trying to convey, and you'll probably be able to do this a lot better than me because I haven't played it recently. To Mr. Tushi and everyone in the community in the chat and Mr. Stubbs, is that the control system, the amount of work and effort I think that they've put into. Making the controls, the PlayStation controls or the Xbox controller, it just seems like you're actually there. It's so refined, and it's a pleasure to play. And
without a doubt,
and I just can't convey the playability, and that's the thing. And again, I know that the culture may seem far out, but once you're in the game and you've landed in it, and you spent 5-10 minutes. You're hooked. It doesn't take 4 hours for you to sort of get your power up and go to a low. Now, once you're in, you're in. Yeah.
It's the best way I can describe it, and the best way I say it is in terms of mini games. If you liked the mini game in Witcher 3, which was a card game, think of that, but multiply it by about 15 or 20, and you've got that sort of. That's probably not even hitting the amount of mini games. Playable, real in-depth physical games you can play around with besides the main game itself, and just the humor and nuance of these interactions. It's just, as I said, I've got I can summon a guy whose fetish is being a baby, and that's not even probably scratching the surface of the humor that is there. And it is so funny. As you rightly said, I thought it'd be very to a point where it's so Japanese, I wouldn't be able to engage or understand the culture or the gameplay. I mean, I'm an anime fan, so I wasn't really so much worried, but I can see anyone being able to pick this up and just think, this is crazy, this is nuts, this is fun.
Yeah, the game has got so much unforeseen sort of series of, I don't know the word, concatenation of events. I mean, you go to a restaurant, for example, and it's like Korean oyster pancakes, and then I fancy some dessert if you've got enough life bar to fill it up, and you'll order like a roly-poly with jam and vanilla ice cream. I'm not actually tasty right now, so no travelers, I'm afraid, but they do have hot dogs with mustard and tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Welcome, Wilmy.
Wilmy. Yeah.
Battle dogs.
No, I to be honest with you, in the price I got it, which was £27, £28, which roughly equates to about $35 US. That's a steal. The stuff that's in that game is going to keep you playing, even once you've played the finished game. There's so much in that game. It is such a bargain in terms of playability. It has, I would say, easily 100 hours in it, if not more. And you don't even have to play the game. You can just go down and sit down and say, as I said, I'm just going to walk over. I feel like I'm playing Sega Rally or Virtual Fighter. Bang! I just sit there and play Virtual Fighter. It's really. I was surprised. I think ACG gave it a good score as well, which was one of the things that kind of, he's pretty good as a reviewer in terms of his things. He's a little bit opinionated in some things, but as I said, I kind of had a little go on the older Yakuza titles, but this one was probably the one that's, for an outsider. I can only assume that's to stop me from talking.
That's the blessed nerve of the whole thing.
And it didn't bloody work. Damn.
That was in the public domain as well, by the way.
The words avaricious and prick come to mind.
Speaking of arcade cabinets, though, I've recently finally completed Cold War campaign after they fixed that bloody glitch I had. But in that game, it's full of say, for example, you're in the middle of a battle or something. You go into a room at the side of a building, and you'll find an arcade cabinet. You can sit there playing games in it while there's like a war going on, basically.
Think that, and probably treble it. That's Yakuza.
I think I found about 4. I think so far.
Yeah, treble that, and you've got Yakuza.
Good little
and
touch.
That's just
anyway.
one little thing.
I think what would be interesting to hear from you, Removable, is as detailed as the environments are and the city is, and there's so many obviously NPCs in Cyberpunk that I've come across that it's very, very, very hard to spot the same NPC twice in a crowd. It'd be really interesting when you actually play Cyberpunk in terms of actually comparing the level of detail that they've put into each. I know Cyberpunk's way bigger, but in terms of the sense of this Night City versus Yakuza, that would be very interesting to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I can only gauge from the videos so far. I will say the one thing that's slightly weird in Yakuza is characters kind of disappear. They fade for, so you'll get a character, if it gets too far out of your visual preference, they just go boop and disappear, fade off into the distance.
They fall off the hard disk, do they?
God knows, they just fade. They physically disappear in some cases. You're just like walking around, and they'll just disappear. And you're like, there was someone there, you know. But I can understand why there's so much in the game. How they shoved it all in, I still don't know. It's not a heavy
Dragon engine for you.
Oh, it's what is it about? I think it's about 35 gig. I don't think it's not a bit. It's not a large amount of space.
Can I just say to Daz,
no, I'll be looking.
that in the chat he's looking at Anti-Gravitator on the store. I've had that. It's actually not that bad. It's only about, I think it's about £10 or £15. It's a bit like it's like F0X pretty much, or Wipeout. I was just going to say to Daz, it's not a bad game actually.
Fair enough. Welcome, the Black Rider, and welcome, I Still Reign. Thanks for stopping by.
Mr. Tushi, what's that game again? The shooter we're playing on Saturday?
Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2 though, not the first one.
I've just seen Still Rain in the chat, and that means I'm getting 0 kills at the weekend.
Yeah, you won't get many when he's about. Hey, we might Pope might be coming on as well, so you won't get many either.
Oh, nice.
And if Russian comes on. Yeah, Pope.
Yeah, Pope's a hidden esports player, isn't he?
Oh, Pope. So if any of you lot in the chat haven't played against Pope, he's the business when it comes to shooters. I tell you. You don't take prisoners.
When I first went on Titanfall with him, he absolutely kicked my ass every single time we play. He's always killing me constantly. We went on when I mentioned that we're doing Rainbow Six Siege on the community game night. He sent me a message saying I'm in, and then he came on. And he's absolutely amazing at that game.
And his son,
yeah, his son is. He's crazy good. His son is.
You can see where both the skill have come from. I said they are top. You know, if you can get a bullet to, in a very small gap, he'd be the one that does it. You're like, how the hell did you manage that shot? In the saw the replays he did against his son did against me. It's like, how did you get that shot? Bang! I was out, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I hope he does come. I ain't seen him for a few weeks now, so nice to see him again. And hopefully hopefully he has his Series X as well now. Hopefully, if Santa brings him one.
Yeah, hopefully. But no, you do get people though that are just good at shooters, first-person shooters. You just get them, and I believe in the community, I Still Reign's one of them.
Mav, speculation. He's brilliant at the game. He is.
3-bit. He's one of them too.
Yeah, he's mental on Halo, isn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he say Mav spin about it? You got 48 kills in one match or something.
Oh, I can believe that, and also Rosie Arts, Club 108. He's good at any shooter as well.
Reggie Brown is brilliant, isn't he?
Yes.
he was a surprise when we was playing against him on Gears.
Yeah, we didn't. He didn't actually. I'm actually due to bring him on the community spotlight. He's got a good story though. He's got a good story. Yes.
Mr. Tushi, I just mentioned golf with friends to Miss Looper in the chat. I think she's going to have a lie down.
All I can promise with golf with friends, we're going to be doing the space level, limited lives, and we're going to be doing acorns. Baubles, square balls, everything. It's going to be crazy.
I've never seen people lose their edge or their cordial edge in a video game before, all at the same time as well.
It's good listening to Sarah Paul on that game. He's effing and swearing, the ball's flying everywhere.
You do it on purpose, Mr. Tushi, I think. You think, you know what, this Saturday, Christmas Saturday, you're going to wind everybody up.
Hang on, Stubbs, didn't you fall asleep once someone was on that game? It was about 2 a.m. or something.
No, it's about 10 at night.
Was it 10? Was it? No, it was.
Well, which game has Stubbs not fallen asleep with?
Yeah, but I knew I was going to fall asleep, so I muted my mic beforehand. I subconsciously knew it might happen. Yeah, Halo's
hear this almighty snoring.
Yeah, Stubbs has fell asleep on Golf with Your Friends. We was on the because we were sitting there watching him while the timer goes down because everyone's finished away. And then he fell asleep in the cave and see if he just left him there.
I woke up though, didn't I?
You did. You come back on the ship in the end. You just made sure you got your money for the treasure, didn't it, when we traded it in?
So what you're telling me is
sometimes VJ, when there's something to be done, and it involves in lugging chests on and off, loads of them, VJ goes, I'm just going to make a cup of tea.
Oh, that was a question once. So we had to carry 50 chests, weren't it, to another island?
And then when we got to the island, he also, I've just got to go and pop and do something, a job for my wife. And he came back
I was skiving.
It's all fun though.
Has anybody on the panel, maybe even in the chat, played Valhalla? I know Mr. Tushi's just recently bought it, but he's probably
I'm not playing it.
He's saving up to buy the Xbox division by the sounds of it. But anyway, has anybody played it? And if they recommend it?
I've not played it. No.
I'm not touching it until I've finished. I did say I'm not going to buy any more games until I finish these, but Valhalla was on offer, so I thought I'd sod it.
I think since I've known you, Mr. Tushi, you said to me, I'm not going to buy any more games. And I think since then you've bought about 50.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
She finds it very gratifying, buying a brand new game.
Well, he's supporting the games industry. He's holding them up. He is.
With the way he's buying stuff at the moment, he's pretty much promoting the game industry. He's keeping a lot of people in jobs with the way he's going.
He knows. The thing is, Microsoft watches his account and think, what sales should we put on next so we can make Mr. Tushi buy? He's got all these. We've got to put something else on.
Yeah. He's bewitched, I think. He's definitely captivated.
Did any of you not get a fiver from Microsoft?
No.
I looked into this £5 stuff you get in emails. It turns out that they only sell it to people. They only give people a fiver usually if they don't put. This is how it's bad. They don't put much into the ecosystem. People that don't buy out get a £5.
Oh, my missus got a £4 voucher.
Exactly, explains it.
But she just plays my games.
Oh,
they're spending their own. Yeah, because I want to play Valhalla, but I'm waiting until I've done Cyberpunk, Immortal Phoenix Rising after. I need to finish that, and then I want to do Watch Dogs again, but with permadeath on, and then I'll do Valhalla. Then hopefully Halo's out by the time I've done them.
Here's a question for everybody: when you got your Series X, did you get the a little award on your profile?
Nope.
Oh, look now.
What do you mean?
Because
like when you have the ambassador badge.
Profiles, yeah, you normally get, because I didn't get, when I got the Scorpion edition, I didn't get the Scorpion edition badge, and I got the Series X. I didn't get the Series X badge. I'm like, hang on a minute, I'm day one. Why am I not getting half my stuff's not even turning up?
No, I didn't get one.
Have your points turned?
Oh, okay. No, I found out about this. When it comes to hardware, Microsoft only gives you 1 point per pound.
Oh.
So for hardware, I would have got 449 points.
Oh, that's terrible. You could have bought it somewhere else, couldn't you?
Trousers down.
So yeah, for digital,
it's not even the fiver.
No, it's not. No, it's 449 points, which you need 5,850 for £5.
So where's this badge on your Xbox then?
On your main profile, you will have, like you have a year badge. That changes.
Updating. There must be an update out.
Oh.
Yes, on your main profile page, you should see. You should have. Some of you might have badges. I think I've got a 10 years badge or something. That's the only thing I've got.
I don't know. I can't see anything.
I haven't got one on mine. I did have the ambassador badge, but they took that off me, didn't they?
Oh, there's some gorgeous screenshots. I took about 150 screenshots. This Hive Busters DLC. I've not put them all on Twitter yet. I've got loads of them. I can't see a badge though.
The best thing is about the screenshots.
Jump on your. Go on.
Is when people say they look amazing, but they're downscaled from 4K to 1080p when they're uploaded to Twitter.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But they still look gorgeous there, don't they?
Mm.
It's- So what's been updated on Cyberpunk? Is it performance upgrades or something?
I don't know.
Stability and stuff.
No, he said it's 16 gigabyte. So I lied earlier on and said I don't notice updates, obviously. But no,
Well, yeah, no, it could have dropped. It could have dropped recently, so you don't know. If you're not playing it, it's automatically updates.
Yeah,
you wouldn't know if updates have happened.
Yeah, 15 gig dot 35.
Does anyone know when Rainbow Six Quarantine's coming out? I'm really looking forward to that one.
I don't know, to be honest with you.
The last thing I remember, they said, because it was supposed to be coming out end of 2020, I think, and they said they were going to extend it to 2021. They put a delay on all their games, didn't
He's
they?
always good with his knowledge in terms of deadlines.
Welcome.
I know one game that.
Thanks for stopping by, mate. Much appreciated. This is the
Matt.
Christmas special, the unscripted. Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you for supporting the channel over the year.
He's always there.
The Stubbscast. I've got 28. I've done 28 Stubbscasts since I started in February. And
So you need to try and double that by next year.
I've got some plans for next year. I do plan to do more Stubbscasts, but I think 28 is quite impressive. But I do enjoy doing the one I done the other night with Law Cognito. I love that. I think that was great. That was.
Do you want me to be honest? My all-time favourite Stubcast was the one with Graphic God.
Was it?
I always thought it was. I just always thought it was a touching story in that, but
It's he really opened up to the gaming community.
He was,
and a lot of people haven't even watched that. They don't know about it.
And then the Cognito one yesterday. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or the day before?
What day? Monday night.
Yeah, because I watched it yesterday morning. Then, because I fell asleep on the freaking sofa that night. That one, it had me hooked. It was really nice listening to his stories and stuff. And
yeah, no spoilers, but there's some stuff in there I didn't expect. He really opened up. He did.
Yeah, he's brilliant. It's nice when you hear about them, their childhood's history and stuff like that. With all of them together, and they're still together now playing games, which is brilliant.
I mean, obviously, when I do them interviews.
Hang on a second, the hospital's ringing.
Oh, okay. Obviously, when I do them interviews, I do enjoy doing them. I do often, like Lord Cognito, I had like another page or two of questions, but as it was flowing, I think I got all the correct questions in, and I learned a skill of, obviously, when you ask questions, you can have branching questions as well. So you branch off that question. See, one-on-one, I like it. Although I haven't got great confidence on other people's podcasts. On my own, I'm all right. And on one-on-one, which you'd think someone who isn't that confident wouldn't be able to do, but on the Stubbscaster can. So next year, obviously, I said I want to branch out. So I want to do more Stubbscasts if I can. I still want to remain within gaming, even though I said I wanted to spread a little bit. I'm going to open it up to different genres, but the main category is gaming because that's where I'm at. But if people want to come on that ain't in gaming, that's not a problem. That's not, because you learn more. You learn more because a lot of these Stubbscast shows, people haven't listened. I've renamed them, like e.g. Mass Mayhem UK, the story so far, instead on YouTube. So it looks like a story or an interview, but because I'm not being nasty, most of YouTube won't know what the hell the Stubbscast is. So even though it's still called the Stubbscast, I call it, say, e.g. like Mass Mayhem UK, the story so far, like that. So then it markets it if someone picks it up. But there is I really suggest people go back and listen to a lot of the Stubbscasts because there are a lot of good stories in there that the community don't hear of, you see. And although it's not my main goal to get creators to open up, but a lot of the time they do open up. And it is good when they open up because they reveal stories that are really interesting. And quite touching at times, especially with like the graphic god one. That is one people. If anyone in the chat hasn't listened to, they really should listen to the graphic god one, because
It shows the humane side of the community.
Yeah, but that is actually, because Jay told me he's never mentioned that on the podcast ever before. That was the first one that he'd ever been mentioned on. He told me with that one. So I knew he was going to do it beforehand because he told me, but I didn't know what the story was.
No spoilers. You'll have to listen to find out.
One of my favourite Stubbs cast was on 27th of June. I'm guessing you're saying, let's have a look. 27th of June. Now I reckon Red Bull. I reckon that was you.
Dreadful was good though.
27th of June. Let's go back. Let's have a look. Oh, for God. Let's go in the playlists. But has anyone got any recommendations? Anyone they want to see on the Stubbs cast? And don't say.
PewDiePie.
Oh, for God's sake. You know, I'm gonna try and get NX Gamer on because VJ recommended NX Gamer, and I'm gonna get I Still Rain on at some point as well. I've been speaking to him.
Young Gay.
27. I've got to find Dreadpool because I reckon he's the one he's talking about. He's bigging himself up, I reckon. It's got to be. All right, so there we go. Right. Come on, it's loading.
Why are you looking at the title?
It says 5 months ago. Yes, it was Dreadpool. 3 hours and 54 seconds. It was. But if you got any requests for the Stubbs cast, anyone you want to see, DM me or let me know in chat, and I'll try. I have got a big list. I've just got to get around to asking people. I want to try and get on Ains from Season Gaming as well, and a few more of the Iron Lords at some point as well. And Mav, I do want to get Mav on as well. Yeah, but the way I say I Still Reign, Indy, he's actually told me that's the correct way of saying it. Zen Shot, hello. But yeah, no, sorry for cutting the chat and we talking about the Stubbs cast, but carry on.
Oh, it's good. No, we hear about these things.
Are you coming on Community Spotlight, have you, VJ?
I beg your pardon, sir?
Are you going to come on Community Spotlight?
Oh, you mean your interviews?
Yeah, are you going to come on for Community Spotlight?
Only if Mr. Tushi and the Removable Sanity are next to me, providing a hand.
It's a one-on-one, unfortunately. You'll have to deal with Stubbs all by yourself.
I don't know.
It is a handful, but as long as you can chat, you can manage it.
You know what? I'm already having a cold sweat.
I'm sure. Yeah, Josh, I think you'd be very good.
I would say Still Rain. Then obviously I'm saying it wrong. Still Rain. I don't know how you say it differently. It's like that. Like that saying that DC character. Aquaman. Now, a lot of Americans go Aquaman like that.
What the hell was that?
They do. They say because there's a lot about that. Aquaman.
I thought you were doing an impression of somebody from Tokyo.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to say the rain anymore, but he has got. If you look at his name on YouTube, and there is an I at the start of the steel. That's all I'm saying.
There's also I at the end. Look at the
I get it now. Still Rain. I get it now.
have I just blown the cover for Still Rain there?
Fair enough, that's it. But if you've got any requests for the Stubbs cast, let me know.
Interview yourself.
Interview Stubbs. Yeah.
It's been done. ACS Husk done it.
Ah, yes.
Zen Shot, you got a question? What would you like to know? But yeah, no.
Tushi Truckers Talks. That's what we need.
Welcome, Dragon Wolf. Welcome.
Oh, this is too quiet. We can't handle this. Come on, let's chat.
I've derailed it talking about my Subscast show. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's it. You've killed your own blooming podcast. Right, let's try and get back into gaming again.
You see what it is, removable, right? Because we hold Mr. Stubbs in such high esteem. It's like as soon as he started talking about his Stubbscast, we just permanently became God fearing. I think.
Tis true.
Too afraid to utter a word.
We don't have the power to.
There's some nice comments from people about Stubbscast. I mean, even Dreadpool mentioned that I helped him learn how to do interviews, and ACS Husk when he does the interviews for Four Guys with Quarters. I do get a lot of comments that they are good. You know,
I think, to be honest, when it comes to interviewing, it is trying to make the other person on the other side feel as comfortable as possible, and also knowing when to be quiet and listen. You know, you don't always have to push as hard as it is. Let them flow. As you said with the last podcast you had, it felt so good because the flow was there, and that's the main thing. Is getting that connection and that flow between you and the person you're talking to.
Very true.
And once it happens, it's almost just, you don't need to try. It just happens. It just, the flow's there, and you just continue talking. If it's like your best mate.
Yeah, it happens the majority of the time. There is the odd time where the flow and the gel, it doesn't happen. And I'm not going to say which shows it's happened on, but it has. I know it happened. No, you. No,
I'm very quiet. I don't really talk that much, Joshua.
No.
I think, to be honest, I think it depends on the situation it is. It could be the topic. It could also be the person at that particular moment. Some people don't feel at that particular moment something's going on in the back of their mind, or something's going on at home. They don't always feel open. It's a 50-50 chance. You can put together the best podcast in the world, but if something's going on, in the background of your interview. Or interviewee, I should say, you'll never know what's going to happen. And that's why podcasting can be so amazing, because it's live and you can actually hear and feel people's reactions when it goes really well. But also it could be absolutely awkward when the other person's not as responding.
Yeah, I'm not going to say. I have had some like that. I'm not going to name names. I'm not. But they were still good shows. Just some shows are better than others. It's like I had a show with Techno John Place. That went really well from he used to be on NLG, Techno Fabulous. That was a very good show. Graphic God was very good. Mike from NLG, that was very good. Ybot from Australia was very good. The majority of them were very good. It's just some flow better than others. They just do. I mean, something like Xbox Pope was great. I didn't even get to a quarter of what I was going to ask Xbox Pope because it was flowing that well. But he was thinking muscular at the same time as well. He was. He said to me, because that's quite an interesting episode, the Xbox Pope one. It is. He doesn't do many podcasts. You see, he turns most podcasts down. He does. From what I understand, he doesn't do them very often. He don't.
No,
I didn't think he was going to say yes. I messaged him just out of blue, thinking he's going to say no, I don't do them. But he said, "Yeah, well, let's try and schedule it." And it worked out.
What have I always said to you?
Always try.
Exactly. Doesn't matter whether it says no. If you don't try, it's a guaranteed no. Exactly. If you try, it's a 50-50 chance.
And UK Dazarus, you are right. Your show was good. Very good.
Has Mr. Tushi gone off to eat the rest of his pizza or something?
No, he had 111 on him.
Oh.
But it's here.
Yeah, the one basically it's it's almost like the healthcare professionals will ring you back, and depending on it is, you'll get a FaceTime or you'll just get an over the phone conversation where they'll set up an interview to try and get you bound for an appointment. But if it's a one-to-one FaceTime, they'll look at the afflicted area if they can to a degree, and then try and make a judgment based on that.
Well, I didn't know they did that. The FaceTime.
Well, it depends on the particular element. So you know, if it's your back passage, I don't think you're gonna be able to FaceTime something. Maybe if it's something on your knuckles or your arm or your nose or something, they might be able to get a good view. It all depends on the particular element.
That's a matter of opinion.
Yeah, no, Dreadpool was saying. Dreadpool has got a philosophy. It's always. Learned a lot from him when he came on the show as well. But I talked to Dredd a lot, and he just tell me to, just try it, even if you don't think you can do it. Just try and try and be more confident. And then he's told me not to try and look at the number of people watching, just like VJ does. He doesn't look at it at all. He just ignores the number and cracks on with it, and that's the idea. So next gen we're trying and do that much better.
Yeah, numbers numbers are nice, without a doubt, and I think most people say that. But in the end, it's the person you're speaking to. If that's great, you could be 1,000 people watching it. It could be one person watching. If you're having a great time speaking to the person you're speaking to, that is really all that matters. Anything out of that is a bonus.
Oh no, I remember Techno John plays because he wanted to beat Dreadpool so much. You don't understand. He was like, he said, "No, Stubbs, we're going to carry on. I've got to beat Dreadpool."
I mean, have you done one of these interviews, removable?
Yes, he has.
I just don't know.
Yeah, I got gypped though. Unfortunately, I really got gypped. My first part of my interview didn't get recorded.
Well, I don't think we missed anything. No, I just got this phobia of sitting there and someone sort of like excoriating me. Excoriating me, sorry, and it's like I don't know if I could deal with that. No.
To be honest, this. Well, I can see what you're saying. I mean, the way I learned how to talk to people, and I'm going to be honest, I learned how to talk to people because I was very shy, believe it or not.
Learning.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Learning still. Yeah, you still know. I was very, very shy as a child. That may not be very profound now, the way I speak, but it's because I was very, very shy. So I learned to, in my case, I react better when I see the person in front of me because I can gauge their feelings, I can gauge the emotions coming out of them, and I kind of reflect and react to them based on that. In some cases, and so when I was doing interviews. When I was doing like indie dev interviews, when I was working in the industry for a couple of years, I would see the biggest mistakes, and the biggest mistakes I've often seen is, and it's just one thing: you go up to this developer, and it would be the same questions time after time after time after again, all the same questions, no intimacy whatsoever. And when I would go up there, I would just simply go. I'd ask them the very first question I'd ask was like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like it'd be something stupid like it's like, have you had lunch yet? Or damn, it's hot in here. It's something completely different than the usual because if it's not personal, it then doesn't become personal. You feel like on the other side of it, if someone's basically you're responding to the same question 20, 30 times a day, it gets boring. And by doing that, I then learned how to talk to people. Not saying in an interesting way, but just try to engage them, because on the other side, as you rightly said, speaking to you is probably nerve-wracking. Oh God, this person's going to speak to me. He's going to talk to me. It's like, what's he going to ask? It's like, really, if I can't put you at ease, just even if it's just like how do you talk about a cup of tea. If I can't do that, then how can we move forward into maybe other areas that you may or may not wish to discuss?
I think I'd have to be seriously inebriated before I could do an interview.
It's one of those things. I think it's all based on the person who you're speaking to, and I think Stubbs well enough but I can understand the hesitancy.
Yeah, because you know him, he'll pull a fast one. Or a few fast ones. And
Yeah. In a way, sometimes the best interviews are ones where they're not realizing they're happening. You're just talking over the phone to each other, and then maybe it's recorded. Maybe that's sometimes the better way of dealing with it. It's like, I just want to have a chat, and I'll record it in the background, and you can.
I can do ones that aren't. I am possible with this StreamYard. If someone doesn't want to do a Stubbscast that's live, I can actually. What I can do is I can set the stream to private on YouTube and still do the stream without an audience, and then do it. I can do it that way, where it's more of a conversation, and I don't feel like the chat. Looking, I can do it. I can do it in that way, then release it later. Okay.
So I don't have to do. I don't have to accurately reflect on my life in real time, basically.
Yeah. Welcome to
the.
But no, yeah.
But it can be nerve-wracking. I mean, live is. I mean, look, it is nerve-wracking regardless. I think the best way I would describe it is you become numb to it. That's the same thing with streaming. When I first started streaming, I was forever just one person would turn up, and I start to sweat and think, do I need to speak about something? Do I need to make it more engaging? Do I need to comment on every single thing I do? Oh, look, I put a clip in a gun. Oh, look, I'm moving the gun forward. It's horrendously nerve-wracking. But it's one of those things. You learn as you progress and you move forward, and you become numb to it. I mean, streamers today who've got these thousands of people, when I watch a streamer, you're like, isn't that really weird that you are just basically playing a game, talking to yourself? I can't really imagine talking to someone. Admittedly, I can imagine talking. I can't imagine talking to about 3,000 or 4,000 people while playing a game. It'd be like, in my head, it'd be probably just crazy. So I just probably end up just, as Stubbs has said, ignore who's watching and just talk, or just play the game silently with no commentary. But are there people out there who can do that? Yeah,
because it's like there was in the midweek gaming DM, not the main one, the sub one with all the creators in, and I actually asked people for questions for Lord Cognito, and you were the only one that could come up with them. And some said, "Oh well, I'm not very good at asking questions." So it is probably something you got to learn over time. I did learn it over time. Because it was Tom World first game. Even though he doesn't like me credit him anymore. I said I still credit him because he gave me the idea to do it. And then the first night there was like 10, 15 people turned up, and Indie Game House, good big supporter, good lad. He said, I think you should carry it on, and everyone else did. And I started booking more and more people. And it was a weekly thing. Stubbscast was every Saturday night. In the end, I had to stop it. It's now at the minute it's weekly. I've got no one for next week though. I've got no one booked in. I don't know whether I'm doing one or not. But it's a progression. Interviewing. I call them interviews when they flow really well. I like to think of them more of a conversation. But I'll let VJ overtake one of them one day, the VJ Takeover show. Just takes over the Stubbscast and does the interview.
I'm very poor at raising sort of points for discussion. I don't mind answering questions, but the questions that I would raise, people would just switch off.
I can actually imagine it. I can imagine it.
Points of conversation aren't really my strong point. I'm normally, if I was in a room with you guys, I probably wouldn't say a word. I'd say less than Mr. Tushi.
Oh, trust me, if you was in a room with me, I'd get you talking. You may not like it, but I'd get you talking.
He would.
I don't know how. I will talk to anybody. Well, and if you won't talk, I'll talk for you.
See, when we see, I didn't know Mill was out here. I thought it seems like a good, because I think I seen you went on Indie Game podcast, didn't you? Indie done a stream, didn't they? You were on one of the first Indie Games podcasts.
I was, yeah. It's a great
Ooh.
stream. It was
And
very.
that's where I found you from, and they followed you from
I
there.
had no idea, and it was just like plunge in and hope I don't sound like an idiot, like I try and hope I do every
Yeah,
time
yeah,
I
but you
come
gotta
onto a
understand people.
podcast.
I went on
You
there
know.
on the Friday night saying to him, "Oh yeah, we'll do a test stream," not knowing it would last 3-something hours.
More than that, we started at 9, we finished at 1 a.m.
I know. It was like we should have just streamed that.
That's what kills me the most is that Dread go, oh, I did 3 hours. It's like
Because in the end,
I got part 2. You got.
He said to me, "You're going to have to cut me off because I'm not going to shut up." And in the end, I left the stream. Assassin Looper has agreed to come on. We're going to arrange it for Community Spotlight.
Oh, fantastic!
I still reign. We will work it out. We will, and I believe I'm going to get Judzilla on as well because he's makes music. He's got
do check his music channel out. They're very good. I must admit, they are very good.
Killer Crow in a few months.
Yeah, and it's about time you got the removable sanity back on the podcast. Yeah, game as well. He was there for the start of it, but it's up to you.
That's a professional show, honestly. If you aren't checking it out, do check it out.
No, it's incredible. He goes above and beyond. I mean, the work he put into that award show. He made 16 individual videos himself, edited and everything, packages, just for that show. And now he's even gone back and time-stamped everything for people. Because a lot of time-stamping is big people like that.
16 stamps, weren't there? I believe.
Yeah, there would have been, 16 award.
Mm.
Are you all right then? Was it the hospital?
Yeah, I've got to wait for a specialist to ring me back now. Got to wait 2 hours.
Everything okay?
I don't know. They're concerned about some of the things I'm having, so.
I mean, the pizzas and the Savoys and the chips and the salt vinegar.
You don't tell them that kind of stuff, do you?
Say again.
But you don't tell them that kind of stuff, do you?
Yeah.
It's not a question he asked. What do you like to say?
He tells them he's on muesli and orange juice.
that is what a lot of blokes do. They will just, we eat healthy. I can't work out why I'm like,
He goes,
I can't stand why I'm 20 stone.
I have a cigar every Christmas.
Hey, now don't argue. That's something I actually do. As an asthmatic, that's one of my little treats. I do have a cigar on my birthday and at Christmas. You're not supposed to, and I actually inhale as well. Unlike one of these people who just like puffs on it, I actually inhale the cigar. It's one of my little treats. I know I shouldn't. As I said, as an asthmatic, I shouldn't desperately anyway. But it's one of my little treats. I do love a cigar. If I could get myself a Cuban cigar, I would be in heaven.
Why do you
think of my name? Come on, It's just what I don't know. It's one of those things. I've always liked a cigar. I don't smoke them often. Again, I don't really. I think probably twice a year. Is that is it? Is that a push? I just really like the actual flavour, the smell, the taste. It's just maybe it brings something back as a childhood memory or something. Maybe that's what it was. Because maybe that's what it was. I had a family gathering. Ever since then, I smelt it. I was like, "Oh, that's nice." I don't know. I really do like cigars.
Sounds like a feverish triumph.
Speaking of tobacco and stuff, I remember because I started smoking when I was really young. I started when I was 11, and when I was about 12, 13, I remember saving. Took some of my savings to go and buy a packet of rolling tobacco.
Really? Rolly tobacco? Oh God!
And I ended up looking in the shop, and I was going to buy 50 grams of drum back then. But I seen this cheap tobacco, some weird name on. I bought it, and I remember going outside, getting your whistle out, getting ready and stuff. And it's freaking pipe tobacco. It's fucking horrible. Had to make that last a week. It was horrible.
Oh God!
It's like smoking like hay or something.
Dear.
No, Rizzlers definitely weren't my thing. Ever since I saw a Rizzler got stuck in, there's always one old guy with a Rizzler, and he had a gap in between his teeth, and so he'd stick it in the middle of his gap of his teeth, and then he'd just talk whilst it was flopping about, and then he'd just puff on it, and then he'd just talk again because it was stuck in with the gap of his teeth. It was just moving around. That put me off.
I can
Ever
do
going
that.
down that line. That's the problem. I see what you eat, and then I get hungry.
Yeah, I eat too much.
What was it? You actually ordered a Domino's, and I said, "Great minds think alike," because there's literally you showed a picture, and I showed a picture of a Domino's as well.
Oh, that Domino's as well, nice. We had the orange the orange flavored cookies as well.
I must admit, I do like deep pan though. Was it Pizza Hut? Sorry, Pizza Hut. Actually, Papa John's isn't that bad.
Last time I had a pizza, I was in A&E an hour later. So.
What, in Domino's?
Well, yesterday.
No, about 2 years ago, because I've got a raging heart problem. Like my resting heart rate's usually around 130, but it's like I'm sprinting when I'm just sitting still. And it's a few of our people in our family have got it. But anyway, I went to. I've said this story a few times. I had a 4-cheese pizza with 4 extra toppings of 4 cheese, and it was like an inch thick of cheese on top. And I ate the whole lot. Within an hour, I was in A&E having a suspected heart attack.
What you need, matey, is to have a more. Yeah, no. I think VJ will back me up on this. What you need is a much more healthier lifestyle. I'd recommend a good full English every morning
With a cigar.
Can you believe? Can you believe I've gone from over the last decade? I've gone from competitive bodybuilding, having a strict diet, to the hour of eating the correct food. So that you're eating shit. It's crazy.
This year, though, hasn't helped matters, though. Let's face it. If in the time we've got now, it's easier just to order over the phone at any point in our time. I try not to.
The honest truth, though, you can go to, like, for example, Asda. You go into the car park. You can't park nowhere. When you actually park, you go outside, and there's a queue of like 50 people with the trolleys outside. You think, oh, fuck that! I'm going to fucking McDonald's instead.
It's true.
Back home in 10 minutes with food. Oh, I can't be arsed with shopping lately. I had to go next today. I had to go next to pick up some food.
But you can't blame people because it's the Christmas shop now. You know what I mean? It's going to get busy. My missus went this morning, and they were the first in. Luckily everything was still left though. But,
well, as I said to you, didn't I, Stubbs? I was like 2 days ago. I went to Tesco's, and my aim as a man is to get in, get the stuff, and get out. I'm not there to look. I'm not there to do. The only time I potentially do slow down when I'm moving around Tesco's is if there's a yellow sticker, at which point then I'll quickly eye up which one's the best deal and throw it into the trolley. But it was a nightmare. We had obviously it was a couple of days after our tier 4 increase in a lot of people's, and it was absolute nightmare. In some cases, for those who aren't in the UK, tier 4 has meant that we are now effectively locked into our own homes. We can go out for food and we can go out for some appointments and some exercise, but it is pretty much you are locked in your house. Do not
really. Not really. You can go work. You can do stuff like that.
Not on tier 4.
You can.
If someone does this in the chat,
I read it. It
What's
says
that?
if you can go to work, go to work. If you can work from home, work from home. So it's not really lockdown.
Yeah, tier 4 I saw was that you're not allowed to touch. You're not allowed to go to work. Those who can't work from home,
The majority of people do manual labour jobs, so that they'll still be going.
Well, yeah, you need them to keep going. Yeah,
I'm a key worker, so if I was working, the tiers don't stop me. I go from tier 4 to tier 3 to tier 2. Don't stop me.
I don't even know what tier I'm in.
I know where you live. I'll look it up.
Tushi would be wouldn't be anyway because he's actually is classified as a essential worker.
So am I, actually. Excuse me. I'm a key worker. If I was working.
If you was working.
Well,
We all
I'm
key seamen.
I'm still deemed a key worker.
Oh, the joys of life. The joys of life. Just think of this. Think of this way. COVID can't last forever. And before we know it, we'll be down the pub with each other.
Tier
Having a
5
pint.
is where Boris Johnson comes running out of his house. He's put his bins out.
With his
Has
high bin.
everyone seen that on Twitter? They put tier 10 and someone's getting the bins out and it's someone pretending to be Boris and he runs after them.
I tweeted that out, didn't I?
I think tier 5 is where you have to ask permission whether or not you can breathe in or breathe out.
I'll tell you what's going to happen, and people ain't going to like this. After Christmas, they're just going to put everyone into tier 4 so they can say, we've locked the UK down. Even though people are coming in and out of this country in airplanes, bringing COVID in, but the government ain't bothered about people coming in and out of a country and not being tested.
We do have a new strain in the UK.
It's because they let people from other countries in. That's what they said. Someone came in on a flight from South Africa. That's what they said. Due to people coming in and out of the country. So they've got to make the mind up. Shut all the flights down, or they don't. I was under the assumption all the flights were shut down now, but I guess they're not. You know.
No. I think there was. Most countries are. Depends on certain countries, if I remember correctly. Tushi, you'd be able to know this.
What's that?
Flights is certain countries are locked down, aren't they?
As far as I'm aware, was there something like about 20 miles of Arctic's parked up, waiting to get across the border to France.
I've seen that.
Is it called COVID? No, it's called because every service is on the motorway.
They're using that as a COVID excuse. It's not. It's a stupid art. It's over Brexit. That is. That's the real reason they're using COVID. It's actually the Brexit deal.
Because they blocked the tunnel.
Yeah, both sides of it. We've blocked it for the foreign drivers, and they've blocked it for our drivers. You know, but they're using COVID as an excuse.
And I know that all the signs on the motorways are now saying new documents to get over to Europe. You can't get back. And then every single services on the motorway has got a information point, so they've got someone basically employed to sit there and tell you what to do and how to get back home, which is quite strange. But I read today that they're letting people back to France as long as they come as negative for COVID. So they're letting them go back as long as they're tested negative.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine. I can't see an issue with it.
I can't work out what tier you're in, Mr. Tushi. I don't know what county you're in.
Warwickshire.
Well, I'm looking it up.
I think that's tier 3.
I'm looking.
Yeah. Bring me tier 4. Lockdown on my Xbox. Leave me in the house for a few months. I'm happy. Do you know, at work, everyone was moaning, saying, "Oh my god, I'm bored. I can't. This is driving me insane." Everyone was moaning. I had 11 weeks off in lockdown. I was on my Xbox all day, every day. I've never been so happy in my life.
I think
I've never been in lockdown before.
It was amazing.
Apart from the fact that I've been in my house for 2.5 months, but that's not because of lockdown, because I can't walk.
Thing is, with the furlough, I was getting the maximum furlough pay, which is, I think it's $2,500 a month I was getting paid on furlough. And I'm getting paid that for sitting at home playing on the Xbox, so I was happy. I was like, bring me on lockdown for the rest of the year. I don't mind, even 2021.
Yeah, my company wouldn't do that. They were like, right, you've got to work from home. Make sure you've done yourself set up. We're doing remote access. You've got a deadline. We expect you to keep it. It's like, we don't care about COVID. We've got a deadline. You're gonna, and you've still got to hit it. I've been in my house now since March.
Yeah, you're in tier 3, sir.
Hey.
Mass mayhem's right. Borders have closed to any UK haulage drivers, but they've made an agreement that testing on both sides is required to get across, which is fair enough. But they should be doing that on every aeroplane flight going in and out of the UK or in and out of every single country. Just add the test on to the price of the flight. You know what I mean? And that's what
the UK. I've always found UK's security on the flights a little laxing, I must admit. If you go to Thailand, for instance, you will go in. I mean, this was about 2008 when I went in. You went in, they would scan your face, and then they do a camera check. I didn't take much notice of it. When coming back, they then did the same thing again. And as I walked past the person who was dealing with it, I looked back and I could see the screen. And they had an image of when you went, when you left, and all your details right beside it. So anything of where you were staying, where it was literally, it was like, Jesus Christ, they had everything. But the moment you arrived into the country to the moment you left. And I was like, damn. That was 2008. Then I went through to Heathrow and it was like, right, mate, show us your passport. Yeah, there you go. It's all right. Off you go. I was like, oh, okay. Whoop, I mean, you know.
We don't know You know that a lot of companies have bought these heat scanners to test people's heads. And they're failing because when my wife works, they bought one. And she didn't expect what her mates told her because obviously she's on the sick. And all the staff had found ways around it. Well, if you're feeling a bit down in the morning, you did just swallow a couple of paracetamols, it drops your temperature and you get through. All right. And even if it was any right, the problem was though on a hot day, it was funny apparently, because if you go out for dinner, your head would come in hot and the alarms were going on and they were going, get out. And in the end, they didn't know what to do because they couldn't control it because they said, well, it's hot outside. It's like 30 degrees. What do you expect? You know?
Yeah.
You know, and they had you know, on your forehead, they had heat sensors. But in the end, people work out how to get around them, you see. So they don't work at all.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it's just, regardless, everything is has its flaws, has its exploits sort of thing. But I said, you know, we've just got to focus on the good things. You know, it's there are a lot of people out there who are in a hell of a lot of worse positions than us. There are people out there who are desperate for food. Food banks are at least in the UK. I can't talk about the US. VJ may be able to, but I know in the UK, food banks are basically becoming they're increasing almost monthly, especially with COVID at the moment. Food banks are just.
I'm not one to stereotype, but I have seen parents. Obviously, I'm a parent, but you know the parents that claim they've got no money, right? But then they're standing there with the latest gear on. They don't work, and they've got brand new phones and Xboxes, and they own everything. Yet when it comes to buying the kid anything, these parents do exist, right? And like during the school holidays, which they get money for now anyway, school dinners. But when I went to school, you only got, you know, you got free school dinners if you and you got them during term time only. Well, since Brexit, since this COVID's hit, it's campaigning to have free children's meals all year round. I don't think.
The case in that case, yes, I'm not saying there aren't people who don't exploit the system. They do.
Some of them are,
but a lot of people. A lot of people have been furloughed. We've got, over 300,000 who've lost their jobs. Probably the highest points for the last 5 to 10 years now.
I agree.
Lost their jobs and can't get back. So their kids, they're struggling. They've got no money. They're trying to feed their kids, you know, and kids. So I can understand why they've done it. I'm not saying there aren't people who are exploiting the system, and trust me, there are people who are exploiting the system.
I wasn't on about the school I go to a few years back. I heard a story of a school that particularly, and they're all on the benefits and they got serious money and they always claim they hadn't got any money. Do you know what I mean? So there are more people exploiting it. There is people out there that need help. I do admit that it's a bad time. It is, you know, and that's a good thing that they're helping them now. You know, the food bank.
I think there is.
Apparently, it's got to be that it's not that you got no money. Apparently, it's got to be like if you have to make a decision whether to eat or or have heating, or is it?
Well,
something like that?
well, yeah. Basically, I mean, to be honest with you, the elderly in our country have often had this problem. How many times have we heard where grandma or an elderly person couldn't pay for their heating bills, and they can only afford the money for food? You know, it is more a case of they've got to pay the other bills, and so something has to give, and in most cases, it's the food.
Yeah.
And you know, kids are probably the worst ones at the moment. They're not getting food every day, and so this is kind of like a mini relief for those parents in that regard. Why they aren't kind of, those who are renting, why they can't give them a little bit of a benefit of doubt with the landlords, I don't know. But
In Scotland now, though, it's actually a law now that during the winter, even if you don't pay your rent, they can't throw you out. It's not that here, but it is in Scotland.
Mm.
Well, she's on a campaign drive, isn't she, at the minute, to win an election.
Oh, of course she is, yeah.
That's why she's doing all this good stuff. But anyway, should we get back onto gaming? We escalated a bit there.
That bloody
No
COVID
question.
talk.
Well, it's been part of our lives so much, Just think about it. When I speak to our kids in about 10 years' time or 20 years' time, it'll be like back in my day in Tier 4,
Yeah. We went, hey, you go in school. I went to school. The kids that are around now could say to their kids, go in school. I went to school during the pandemic. I've seen a lot of memes going about that.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's let's face it. What I'm impressed with this year, in terms of gaming, is how many games have come out during a pandemic.
It's impressive, I got to admit.
Oh, it is definitely, yeah.
I'm so grateful for what we've had this year. Yeah,
we've had a lot more bugs, but then let's face it. What would you expect during a pandemic? It's it's not as if you're in the office. In some cases, you're at home, remotely working, trying to speak to someone else remotely working. So to get these games out, and then there are some crazy games out there. We've got it. They've got it, and even indie developers. Life has carried on.
Hello?
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
I think you cut off.
He did. It just went quiet. He said fantastic at the end. Yeah.
I was pausing for effect. Obviously, that kind of went down.
Gaming has kept us sane, and it's even kept people that don't traditionally game sane, because gaming industry boomed. People that weren't gaming tried it and they liked it.
Yeah, it's also helped out a lot of like parents and that connecting with their children.
Yeah, actually, that's a segue. Have you seen it? The Xbox advert for the Series X.
Yeah.
With the granddad and his
That's a true story. Tushi was telling me.
Yeah.
Have you seen
there
it?
is. He's going to make a cup of tea.
I bet he's on there. He's playing fucking Sea of Thieves on him. Oh no, is it?
Was there a question for me? Sorry.
Have you seen the Xbox advert where the Xbox Series X, where the grandson buys his granddad an Xbox Series X to connect with him again?
No.
No, it's very good.
You should put it on the screen, Stubbs. Try and find it.
Like a strike.
Let's face it. This is a generation where that problem is going to be the last. Let's think of it. As I'm old, I think VJ is a little bit younger than me, and then obviously we've got the youngsters, Tushi and Stubbs.
Who is the youngest here? How old are you, Mr. Tushi?
36.
Oh, we're the same age.
Yeah. I was born in 84. February 11th. February 11th.
Oh, you're older than me. December the 3rd.
I'm older than you, Mr. Sanity.
Oh,
I feel like it.
VJ the granddad.
Right.
Now, wrong with that, lad.
You need to put some. You need to change his avatar. Put some Werther's originals around his cup of tea.
I'll just change my name to J.R. Hartley.
Hartley. Oh God, I remember that advert. That was a brilliant advert.
J.R. Hartley.
Oh, have you? Yeah, I'm looking for a book by J.R. Hartley. God, that was the old Yellow Book adverts. That's a UK advert thing for those in America.
I'm not being funny.
Yellow Pages.
Indeed, VJ will never reveal his age. I've already tried multiple times.
I know how old he is.
When Bubsy used to appear on those BT adverts on ITV, I used to think that was that was CGI back in my day.
Oh yes, yep.
See, I've lost everybody. See, I might as well just go back on.
No, I remember. That was the idea. I remember. But I mean, you think about it now. We are parents, so I don't know. We saw it was recently on the BBC. They did a report where it was not obviously
that's a bullshit company.
Oh, I know. I don't really watch it, but I did spot this one particular instance. Oh no, it wasn't BBC. Maybe it was Channel 4. One of the broadcasters, and I don't watch this. I kind of don't really watch it. But my missus was watching something, and it flicked over to this particular element where they was talking about a father and his son connecting through. Actually, it was Xbox as well, and it kind of struck me how out of tune it was because the gentleman was probably my age, probably a bit younger, in fact. And I was just like,
72.
Don't most people play consoles? As you can see, I'm kind of politely ignoring that comment. But you think about it, the generation below me is going to be fully proficient in gaming and consoles. There is, I think, we are going to have no problems whatsoever when it comes to being lonely if you are in that game. If you are a gamer, I think it'll be, as I said to you, Stubbs, I reckon, when I'm about 80, if I survive that long, I'll still be trying to, throw a grenade at your head, online. I think we can almost say that gaming itself is probably, I have to be careful what I say here, could be the killer for loneliness in future generations. I think it'll be just, we will be so connected as regardless of whatever generation, your children versus your grandparents, you'll be so connected. Loneliness, I think, will be almost become a thing of the past. I'm so saying it won't be fully realised because but I think a majority of it won't be anywhere like it is now.
Oh,
do you think that's a good assertion?
Yeah, you are right. I do believe that as well. Yeah, you are right. Indy's trying really hard, 35 to 40, 41 to 45, 46 to 50, and 51 plus. At Remove Sanity, at VJ, please tick the box. LOL.
Box 2 for VJ. Sorry, box 2 for Stubbs. Sorry, box 1.
I've seen Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men.
I had them on video. Black and white.
My wife, and she's only 30. So.
I've seen Mr. Spoon, Button Moon. I've seen Bagpuss.
We're after Button Moon.
Yeah. I remember Charlie the Cat.
Remember Spot the Dog?
Spot the Dog, and I remember the Regular Break adverts.
No, I only remember Digby.
Oh.
And Bagpuss. They're the only cat and dog I remember.
What about Captain Pugwash with masturbates and semen stains?
And Roger the Cabin Boy.
Incarnated, so.
You got to realise how creative the writers were back then. Honestly,
and,
Roger the Cabin Boy, they got away with it on TV.
And with Stubbs, we call him Seaman Stubbs, don't we? And Sea of Thieves. Saying that, speaking of the stuff they used to get away, have you ever seen the rainbow stuff?
Oh, did you see it's basically classified as the innuendo rainbow episode, where they talk all in, what's the word, VJ? You'll help me on this. It's all in innuendo, isn't it? It is literally, they're just basically, oh, I gave that a right poking. It's all very tongue in cheek. That's the word, tongue in cheek.
I remember that one where Zippy gets that banana and he pulls it. He goes, 1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin. Then he goes 4. Then I think George goes Zippy, and then just interrupts his name 4 skin.
Yeah, it was.
Them were the days.
Yeah, them were the dames. Rod, Jane, and Freddie. I did have a bit of a crush on Jane as well.
My goodness.
Mr. Spoon is a sex position.
Guys don't get.
Yeah, I suppose it could be.
Apparently, he's 71.
He's been gaming since Pong.
I feel like it. It's also not that old, I don't think. But yeah, I was there at I'd say pretty much the beginning of the console generation. So I've seen it grow, and I've seen it, as I think I tweeted out, 1970s platform wars till right up to 2020.
This is for BJ.
Oh God.
Family means a huge amount. It's lonely when you can't meet with your family as regularly as you want to. We've really not seen a lot of our grandchildren. When they were younger, we were a much closer family.
My granddad, with his knee injury, can't run around with us in the garden anymore. We stopped doing the things that kept us really close.
I can't connect with them in the way I used to. Hi. Hi, love. This is all new but very exciting, Dylan. I'm relying on you to get me through this process. Initially, I was nervous and not quite sure what I was doing. Shall I change my car? How do I start the car moving? Right trigger to go forward. Hang on, I'll take my eye off the road. Hi, how you doing, Dylan? You all right?
Good, thanks, you. I think the best way to improve a relationship is to learn something together. What did you do today, Grandpa?
We went for a walk this morning, very nice walk. I'm on deck. How long were you on your bike today?
Oh, it was just like a little training session for like 2 hours.
Now we're getting time together. I think we achieved a small breakthrough there. Uh-oh. Grandma, stop laughing.
To be fair, he got good enough at Forza to actually play. Oh, what? Oh, you beat me, no! Oh, that's actually not fair.
Oh no, what have I done?
Around my age, when you're with your friends and you're out, what did you do?
When I was a young man, I was in the Sea Scouts.
It's been mentioned, but I've not heard the details, so I'd like to know the details. Grandad, when did you learn to drive?
When I was 17.
Oh, and you passed first time. Okay, I'm scared of not passing and then having to like retake them. It's never not worth teaching someone something, and especially with your granddad. Teaching him something, but you're getting something more out of it. I'm not sure if I want to go to uni or not.
When I left school, the same age as you are now, it's not just about a straightforward education. I don't think you're ever too old to start trying something.
Hey! Did you do it? So close. We haven't had that dynamic in a long time. Do you want to play this time next week, or are you going to be busy?
What's our diary for next week? It's a chance that I didn't realise I might be able to have. I like to think it's something we could carry forward for many years.
That's incredibly powerful. That advert. I don't care what you say. That's powerful. That
It's
is.
touching.
It is. Makes you have a tear in your eye. That does.
It shows off the human condition in such a perfect way.
What's your thoughts on that, VJ?
I'm a bit of a despairing pessimist, and when I see stuff like that, it just reminds me, as a species, we're always on the precipice of losing all of our ancestral practical teachings. So that's what it makes me. Doesn't make me sad per se, but it's touching, as Mr. Tushi just mentioned. But that's where my thoughts sort of were leaning when I was watching that, in terms of how much we lose, not just in the people that sort of come and go from this planet, because in 50 years' time, who's going to remember who we were, right? But it's the teachings that that we learn, right, as technology advances. And I don't know who the gatekeeper or the keeper of those things are anymore. But anyway, probably better to get on with something a bit more cheerful.
VJ.
I don't know. I think you'd be remembered in 50 years, VJ.
I don't.
I do.
VJ,
Let's face
when
it,
you was
once
a
it's on the
teen,
internet.
I'm sorry?
VJ, when you was a teen in UK, for example, how many channels were on the TV?
I don't know about channels. I think you had radio.
Wow, really?
Did you have them TVs like in Fallout 4?
Fallout 4. No, they were much worse.
I think I know how old VJ
That's
is.
true.
I think I know how old VJ is anyway. I think he's early 50s.
No, I used to have to get coat hangers and a dustbin lid, and that would be my satellite to get a signal.
If you didn't have to spend about 40 minutes moving the bloody aerial, you didn't have to.
And why was it in the area where you couldn't put it? You had to say there had to be in the middle of the room, up in the air, with your arm up in the air to get a signal.
Yeah,
I remember you had either one that was fixed to the TV, it was plugged in the back, and you literally then had to move it. It's like, and it was a coat hanger. You had to move it round, or if you were lucky enough, you had one that had a wire connected to it. At which point you then spend about 10 minutes waving it around the bloody room, trying to find a prompt signal, and then you'd be in some sort of weird, awkward position, some sort of like mannequin position to hold it whilst you're watching the TV.
Well,
yours in one leg as well, didn't you?
I'll give you another clue. When I used to go out on a Friday night, I used to dress like Grenville.
Who's Grenville?
Really?
Oh my god! Seriously, Tushi?
Tushi. Oh,
Who's Grenville?
Who's right? Who's Grenville?
What's wrong with you?
Oh, here comes another trailer.
Who's Grenville? Oh my god.
Tushi. Oh, it's
David
J. Yeah.
David
Grenville. You never watched.
You must remember that.
You never watched it.
Grenville.
No, I can't remember it.
Oh my god. Sleeveless V-neck jumpers.
It'll be on TV. I'm sure a rerun of it will be on Christmas time. I suspect. The guy who played Porridge and David Jason. I can't think of his name at the moment.
Del Boy. This is Dragon Wolf.
David Jason, you're about.
And Dragon Wolf.
Yeah, David Jason.
That was a look, mate. That was a look.
The guy who played, who put in Porridge. Yeah, I can't think of his name now. My brain's gone. And also David Jason. It was a corner shop.
You're talking about
Open All Hours.
Yes, there you go.
Finally.
Ah, yes. They'd done a rerun of that, didn't they? Not long ago.
Yeah,
and it was actually very good. David Jason played it very well. He done a credit to it.
He takes on board the Grenville takes ownership of the shop, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he ends up acting like his dad, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because he's brought up that way.
It's interesting, isn't it? We always look back to the past, isn't it? And that's like our perception. Well, it's my perception, and I think it is for a lot of people. When you get older, it will be Mr. Tushi. The past will be your perception of utopia, or a perspective that's sort of best served.
Old TV's better now.
That best serves you and that lights up a smile on your face. It's never the present, and maybe for others it's different, but it's interesting that even the conversations back in those days was how much better things were during
All right then, extra
the
point
earlier
there.
century.
What's David Jason's real name?
What's that?
What's David Jason's real name?
David Jason.
David Jason.
It's Batman. Bruce Wayne.
Go on mute.
Bruce Wayne.
I think I'm talking a lot of unnecessary talk today, so I'll just go mute again.
No. Have we all gone quiet now?
Yeah, we're all googling it.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of his name, so I'm happy to admit I'm a bit ignorant in this particular element.
Hang on. I'm on Wikipedia here.
Oh, for crying out loud!
I'm doing it before you.
Sir David John White.
That's it.
Ah. He said no, David Jason.
You see, Mr. Tushi, those were the days when, there was no special effects. A script writer really had to do his job. They had to take a few words, because even the BBC, their shows weren't that very long. They had to take a few words and maximize them, right? And get the populace and achieve sort of like the maximum effect from the populace, right? Otherwise, we'd all be bloody watching the circus. So, or the Queen's speech. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Have you ever seen any of the stunt moves from the black and white movies and stuff?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever seen some of the old the stunts he used to do in the old black and white movies and that?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like
They get hurt. They get.
Harold Lloyd was one of my favourites. He was incredible.
Now we're showing his age.
Every generation thinks that their generation is the greatest, and their nostalgia of their generation is the greatest.
You can't say TV is good now because it's all politically correct now. They can't do nothing wrong.
No, if you say anything wrong, it's like
it's hard. It's hard. I feel sorry for comedians as well.
Yeah, but you think about it, if you're a generation that's brought up in this, then it's going to be the greatest generation. If something gets worse down the line, but it is a consistent generational trait that they always believed their generation was the greatest generation. If you, I'm trying to think of the song. It's called "Wear Sunscreen." If you listen to the lyrics in that song, it's a perfect example of the human condition, and where I think one of the sayings they say is you will believe that. I think it says something. You believe that in your day, politicians didn't philander. Food and TV and everything else was perfect. It was, you believed at that stage, it was all brilliant. You didn't see, the bad points in your generation because your brain glosses over it.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit careful. I would say it's not even a humanist job, right, to mock or tell someone they are wrong or try to persuade or convince them that they're wrong. Or otherwise, really based on an era that they've lived in and that brings joy to them, right? Especially in terms of memories, right? And I guess it's subjective, right? Really, and we move forward with technology. I mean, imagine taking Mr. Tushi and plonking him back 50 years back in time. He'd probably do all right, actually.
I will tell you, he probably would. I had it no problem. Literally about 2 years ago, we had a cyber attack on our servers. Everything went down. We couldn't email. We couldn't. Our phones went down because I think they were all connected to our server at the time. We couldn't email. We couldn't do anything. The only thing we had was a fax machine. I'll tell you not. I was the only one who knew how to work it. No one below my age even knew how it worked or even that it existed.
Don't you just put your piece of paper and type the number you want, where you want the fax number you sent it, and it just sends it through, doesn't it?
That's right. Yeah. They didn't even know. They were astonished that you could do that. You could send paper through the telephone line.
That's the thing.
And it was,
but don't you find that's more and more common? You know, empiricism comes to mind, right? Where today's youngsters, they don't question and test enough for themselves, unless it's on a video game controller or a mobile phone.
Do people still use fax machines these days?
Yes.
Some they do. Yes.
Yes, they do.
I know
Yeah,
my boss
they
does.
may not do in England, but I'm sure they do in some places. But in other parts of the world, you'd be surprised. Even in the States, we use fax machines. Even now, for the IRS, you know, for the DMV over here, fax machines and numbers are available and provided to you when they don't want to answer the phone.
People just send spam through them, don't they?
They can do, but fax machines are still relevant today.
Are you being served?
Oh my goodness!
I am.
Call me Sally.
I've got all of them on. We've got all of them on DVD.
We could have a good convo about the Carry On films here. This in that generation.
Oh, don't get me started.
There is a program, some DVDs that I've got, and I can't think of what the show it's called, but it's a TV show, but it's not allowed to be aired on TV anymore. It would be illegal. You'd be in uproar.
But love Thy Neighbour.
Yeah, something along those. Love Thy Neighbour, or
yeah, that's it. It's not allowed on TV, but you can buy the DVDs.
Do you know who that was? Who played the neighbour?
He's in EastEnders, weren't he? For many
years.
He's
still there now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Truman. Is it Truman?
That's it.
Yeah, he's still in EastEnders now. He's had a good career though.
My Neighbour, and there was another one. There was upstairs, not upstairs, down there. What is it?
Steptoe.
Oh, not Steptoe.
Steptoe is a good one.
It's a good one.
Oh, Rising Damp.
Yep.
That's a porno.
That was a probably is, but no, there's a series called Rising Damp, a very similar sort of situation where, you know, it was it tackled on a lot of issues of the day, racism, sexism, and all that, and it was really quite funny, but it was today it wouldn't be aired because of the way the language that was used.
I really love Reginald Perrin. I thought
he was always the person who.
He was amazing.
He's basically a lech, a little perv, and he always got his comeuppance, and that was the beauty of the writing of it, wasn't it?
You talked about innuendo, but the insinuations, oh my goodness, his wife's upstairs or in the garden or in the washing machine. I mean, oh my goodness gracious, I mean, him and his secretary. Oh,
Miss Jones.
It goes back to what you were saying earlier, removable, right? It's like, you know, the older generation that look to the past. You have to remember, you know, you see something today in a chance memory or a meeting, there often can be looked back upon, right, as a turning point, a hinge even, right? Sometimes you look back at life and say, that was a hinge, that movement there, that door opening there, that changed my life. Mm-hmm. And because of that moment in time, you know, life changes. And I think as you get older, in your senior years, and each to his own in that matter, you know, you do start looking back rather than forward, right? Because you know that the end is nigh.
It is true, but also I think what I find a little unique is that the generation now and the generation slightly below me probably don't realise that the conversations we're having now were actually had back in the 60s, were had back in the 70s. And in some cases, I would potentially argue they actually did a better way of discussing them.
Yeah.
And are, in some cases, much more prominent now. If you watch, which is strange to me, some of these series that would probably cause an uproar, the conversations they were having back now are so well done and so thought-provoking that actually I think they should be aired, because I think a lot of people would actually probably understand that, you know, some of the conversations we're having isn't going to happen in a lifetime. Maybe it's a conversation that needs to keep happening throughout and out. And if you forget about the previous conversations, you're just repeating yourself.
See, that's an important point you raised there, because I'm going to contradict myself now. Is that you're right in the sense that the mind is what you make of it, or the creative mind that you have is ultimately how creative your mind is ultimately, again, what you make of it, right? It's all about nature, nurture, and chance and probability, right? But at the same time, me and Mr. Tushi have talked about this before. When we were younger, right? In terms of what was and wasn't available to us, right, at the time. So that also has a bearing. And I think this day and age, youngsters, kids growing up, the way everything is accessible via the internet, you can actually pretty much find out about anything, anyone, anywhere in an instant, and you have to remember that was never available to us back then.
We had a phone book.
Yeah, okay. But I used to use the Yellow Pages so I could step up and add the cookie jar. So,
Exactly.
Anyway,
but that was it. That was it. No, that was you're quite right. It was back then. You didn't have the internet
during the war,
and its problem during the war. But so what else did we? How did we have these conversations around the dinner table? How did we have these conversations in the playground? It was by watching TV, and so these TV shows were much more prominent, and the way they had to engage people with brains and discussions, especially discussions over, I don't know, very sensitive topics like racism, sexism, these elements had to be done carefully, but at the same time had to be done so thought-provoking that it would get people talking.
Yep.
Now that kind of doesn't need to be said, because you can pretty much just go online and find something, that will almost back up your own thought process.
Yeah. But it's interesting. Dragon Wolf in the chat mentioned Frankie Boyle, and
yes,
dude, I don't know who Frankie Boyle
my
is.
favorite comedian is.
I don't know who Frankie Boyle. I don't know Mr. Tushi.
Oh my god!
But I tell you what, he ain't a patch on Frankie.
He's
Howard.
mellowed. He is mellowed. So if you look to the '90s versus now, he's so mellowed.
He's not he's removable, but he's not a patch on Frankie Howard. I'm sorry.
Frankie Howard had his own. Yeah, Frankie Howard.
Frankie Howard.
Oh, behave. He was in the Carry Ons, if that helps you, Tushi.
Say again.
He was in the Carry Ons.
He was a brilliantly talented, creative writer, comedian. But he something, I can't remember quite what happened to you. You might remember this in Removal, but he ended up dying in poverty, like so many creative people do.
Yeah, it was actually he
really
I think he had a little bit of a gambling debt or gambling addiction. So I think he had something that it was, and strangely enough, as you rightly said, some of the big comedians of the time actually never ended up with any money. Who else was it? Oh, the one who did Benny Hill. No, well, close. Benny Hill. He died in a one-bedroom room in squalor, and he was paid by millions in royalties, and he just, it was, some of these big comedians back in the day just either they spent it all or they had families and friends kind of con them out of it, and 99% of them kind of just fell by the wayside, dying poor and alone, which is kind of sad in itself. But I don't know. I think
Oh, Dragon was just mentioned Pompeii. Remember that one?
That was it. Pompeii. That's the one. But that's where he's main character. I think it is, if I'm correctly.
Mr. Removable Sanity. I'm getting a feeling that you love comedy that has innuendo, insinuations, and very cute scenarios.
Yes, I have a humor that can be dark as well as it can be light. I kind of get regardless of what it is, my humor is it's easily fluctuates. I kind of like risky humor, and I like non-risky humor.
Risky humor? Do you mean the humor that tickles your lollipop?
Because he's fancy.
Tickles me fancy, yeah.
I wasn't gonna use Saveloy
I'm one of those
again.
persons who I can get. I find dark humor. It's one of these things, you know. I can also get on well with dark humor, which isn't really allowed for today. But what people forget about dark humor is dark humor normally comes from a place of darkness yourself, and you're laughing in a way to help you move forward. In those guises. So I'm a bit of a weird one. I kind of, you know, I like to laugh at pain, generally because I understand it.
You'd love young ones then.
Oh my goodness.
Young ones.
Mr. Stubbs is back. Oh, I was just about to send out a smoke signal to see if he was sleeping.
I nearly was.
Oh, while you're on here, just a little off topic. What do you all think of my my Xbox Pro skin for my Xbox, my Cyberpunk one?
I wanted to ask you about that. How does that get applied? Because I would have thought it didn't have any bubbles on yours. So I was like, is it a real pain to apply? Or is it?
Yes.
Because I'm assuming you've got a little bit of a card and you have to lay the Xbox Series down, get the edges lined up perfectly. Because knowing me, I'll get one edge perfectly and then I'll find it's at a 45-degree angle by halfway up. And it's like, what? Don't know how.
Yes, that's what it's like. On the console, I put the heater on in the electric heater on in the living room, and I just held it on top for a little bit. Then when I applied it, I got the first bit perfect, and it seemed like it wasn't. If you look on the picture in the middle, on the left-hand side, you can see a gap where it just doesn't touch, where it's not stretched enough. It's not. There's no fault with the product. It's just the way I've applied it.
See, that would drive me nuts. That's why I didn't buy one. I wanted one, but I was like, I know for a fact that little thing would drive me nuts. Because if it's not perfect, it will drive me nuts.
The console turned out perfect. The controller, I've got a few creases in that. It was just trying to get a vinyl to get around all the bendy curves of all the buttons and everything. But I'm happy with it.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks good.
It stands out on the display and stuff. And
see, I was thinking you could easily wouldn't it be easier to put a square cover over the top of that could then just like little fold pieces that could then just like sit on top or fold in the top or something. Because also, what about heat? Is that trapping heat? The sides or anything like cards?
No, not at all.
You don't find it that the actual plastics kind of keeping in anything. I know obviously they've got a lot of fans and holes for removing the heat, but it's not.
All I say is if heat can get through plastic, it can get through a sheet of vinyl. I ain't worried at all. I had a skin on my Xbox One. I had a blue, looked like an Adidas shoebox. It did. the VCR one. Back in the day.
So it's one of those things that it will take you time. It's almost like playing because I assumed the vinyl it was going to be almost like like a screen protector. I assumed it'd be something like that where you could literally just it's kind of rigid and then you put it then based onto the actual box itself. But from what you're telling me, it is literally like what was I trying to think of? Oh God! It's almost like, as you said, it's a vinyl, like almost like a sellotape effect. You're literally laying on top of your own machine, which that's what worried me. If it was like that, I was like,
when you place it on, you can literally peel it back up again. It's really easy to reapply and take off, put it back on again. There's about 5 attempts I tried with the first one, getting it straight. Because I put it on, and then the USB port at the bottom, it was kind of like 5 or 6 mil too far down. I was like, what the hell? Then I had to take it off, start again, back up and down. But I actually got it all right in the end. But
are we talking about your Xbox or a Saveloy?
Both.
Trust me, one attempt with his Saveloy. There is no second or third attempt.
Don't touch the sides.
So again, and it wasn't. How much price? If I may ask, how much was the price again? It wasn't expensive, was it?
Yeah, it was $55. So it worked out like
not bad.
It worked out £42. But when I brought it, I went back onto the actual site, and then it said if you use this code, you get 10% off. I didn't see that.
So you paid full price. So
oh yes.
is that only 3 sides? Because obviously the back side is where all the gubbings is, the wires.
It's just the 3 sides and the controller. That's all. I'm happy with it. It's unique. I think it's nice.
Mm-hmm. No,
it's getting a lot of traction. It's got that tweet up with the picture. It's had like 30,000 impressions and 5,000 interactions, I think. And
You're big time. You're big time.
It's going crazy. The numbers just keep flicking up all the time on that one. It's still going now.
Xbox Pope's stock is going up. Click, 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 click every time. And it's well deserved, to be fair. He does do a fantastic job with his designs.
Also, soon they're launching a new one that haven't been announced yet. Another vinyl cover. I thought, great, it's going to be if it's a decent one, I'll end up buying that one and swapping for the Cyberpunk one, wouldn't I? Putting vinyls on top of vinyls.
It's just by the end of 2021, it's just going to be like an onion. It's going to be about 6 mil thick with every single new line you got.
I'll have the fattest Xbox Series X ever, won't
I? Josh, that's one thing I would like to see. That's a point. Do you think the Xbox Series X is going to do custom Xbox Series X?
Yeah, I think they will in the future.
Yes,
because it lends itself to it, doesn't it?
Well, I can confirm. Yes, there is one coming. But
thanks, Phil.
Sub knows what we're on about, don't we?
I know a lot more than I should.
Yep.
I can't comment.
I got told by a drunken fellow.
You're a drunken sailor.
Yeah. There's something very big coming soon, put it that way.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your ears out.
It's his next order from McDonald's.
Oh God, don't. Oh God, I got to drop my missus off at work in the morning. So,
do you know what? I am surprised you haven't actually started up a YouTube channel called, Trucker versus Food. Trucker versus Food. With then also, Trucker Talks. Yeah.
I can't get my truck in McDonald's. I have to park down the road and walk it.
Why don't you just ring them up and ask them to walk over to you?
I remember when I did that. I put it in the chat, didn't I? That I had to order a pizza and where I'd stopped on a night out.
Yeah.
I was outside a sex shop, wasn't I? No, I had to order a pizza to the sex shop. Which is quite funny.
With you there, Mr. Tushi.
Oh, I remember that one. I thought you were near me because there's also one on one of the dual carriage.
You're near a sex shop?
No, but I can get to one. If Mr. Tushi was parked up there, I was gonna drive down and go and have a chat with him, but he was miles away.
See?
You say that you were there to drive down to the sex shop. That's what it was. Don't you start getting it.
Removable. He's already admitted it. He said he knew far more than he should.
Yeah, this is true.
To what Dragon Wolf says in the what he says in the chat about they should employ Xbox Pope. When I spoke to Pope about that, he said that if he got employed, he couldn't be Xbox Pope basically because he'd be under NDA. He wouldn't be able to do anything for the public.
Right, so here's he spoke about on the Stubbscast. The problem is everyone panders to want Pope to work for Microsoft. Now, the problem is, he says the reality of it is he wasn't allowed to do fan artwork. He'd be restricted, and Pope likes quality. So basically, the designs Pope comes up with, if he showed them to Microsoft, they'd go, gotta cut that bit out, that bit out, and that bit out due to licensing issues and stuff like that. And he doesn't like. He wants them to be what he made. You see, so Pope maybe
effectively the brand the brand he has wouldn't be his. The brand would be Xbox's, and at that point he loses all creative control on his designs, which he doesn't want to do. And also he wants to keep doing stuff free for the community, which they would probably restrict upon.
He did say Microsoft do like his artwork, and they love it. It's great for the Xbox community, and they wouldn't want to change anything.
And to be fair, let's face it, if he was picked up by Microsoft,
I guess it'd be a one-off contract for one design only, so it wouldn't be classed as an employee. It'd be like a deal for one console. So
freelance. He could go freelance. Yeah, freelance would be the best way.
But plus, from what he said, it's litigation. It's loads. It's a big headache. He said.
Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. Also, it means he's restrictive because he also wants to do PC now, which he's doing PC covers, and he's also doing PlayStation. He doesn't want to put himself into one basket, you know. So the best way for him at the moment is to keep freelance, and it gives him the freedom to keep doing what he does and enjoy what he does. You know, even if it's creating his own custom controllers. Which I just unfortunately didn't have the chance to have the money at the time to get one. I really wish I did get one though, because the controllers he's made do look amazing. Hopefully, I'll try and save up some money for the next batch he might be issuing.
I want one, but I want to get one of the new console. You know, the one with the share button.
Yeah,
that's what I'll be waiting for. I got quite addicted to that button. I quite like it. I press it too much though. That's the problem.
You're not the only one.
Screenshot.
BJ, you should share them on Twitter, you know.
Oh, Mr. Tushi, I'm going to have to speak to you because there is a problem with something to do with. I mentioned to you before, like I'm taking screenshots, but they're not appearing. They say it's been uploaded, it's here and there, but I can't access them and I can't see them.
Well, you can't access them on your phone.
On my phone, I don't even know if I can access them on my Xbox. I may just have
to. There's a problem with the Xbox app at the moment.
Right.
It's the same with the beta app as well. It just doesn't show your screenshots like mine, for example.
No, I've had that as well. Yeah, the only way you can go there is a way you can see your screenshots. That's in the what's it called? The notifications bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go into that and do it from that position. Not the best, but it does get you to, and it shows you everything you've taken a shot of. Unfortunately,
I've had this.
But yeah, no, there is a big problem.
There is a problem, and there's another one. Is that the Microsoft rewards? I go in and I click on something, and it just kicks me straight back out. It's got worse and worse. So
yeah, I've had the same thing about that. Yeah,
you've reached your limit of points every week.
Yeah, I mean, I amass so many points, but I've had to resort. If I want to share something, I've had to resort just taking a photo on my wife's camera and then just sending it to Mr. Tushi via WhatsApp or something like that. So,
you see that?
WhatsApp.
He enjoyed the last couple ones I sent him.
Not the nudes.
of my neighbour's
need to shave your balls, man.
That's my dolphin.
Got it, Flipper. Flipper the flopper.
Flipper the floppy. Yeah, it's floppy.
It's just like this podcast at the moment, isn't it? It's flipping and flopping everywhere.
Yep. It says floppy house beard.
Did you guys know we've been going for 2 hours 34 minutes?
No, and we haven't talked about a single retro game other than Sega Rally.
We spoke about Shenmue. We mentioned it once.
Yeah,
Shenmue, the modern day classic.
It is.
I was wandering around IKEA and I was wondering where the hell can I go and get a shiatsu massage and a karate lesson.
Those were the days. Is Stubbs alive?
I don't know. I think he's sleeping in that cave.
Well, that's fine. We keep going then in that case.
He's going towards the Joe Paul territory.
He is. What are we going to? What was your very first game that you got addicted to?
Ooh.
Mine was probably. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Tushi.
Alex the Kid on the Master System.
Wow. Wow, that is. I wasn't expecting that out of you, Mr. Tushi.
I love that game.
I thought you was much of a Horace fan.
Then there's one I used to be hooked on, but like later on in the Mega Drive was that
Larry?
Desert Strike.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yes.
Were you talking about Horace Goes Skiing? They're removable.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I used to enjoy that game, but I really got addicted to Night Law.
Oh dear God, that's
Yeah.
Someone from the 40s or something.
I can still recall. I can't actually enact them, but I can still remember the sound effects in that game, and it's brilliant game, brilliant.
Daz, I agree. He's probably is wanking. Stubbs, reply if you're not wanking.
Well, he has to find it first.
Oh, it is.
Oh dear.
Oh, he is here. He's clicking.
Oh, Assassin Looper, thank you very much.
I hope you have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year.
How's your wrist?
Where you been, Stubbs?
It's been sitting because you lot talk so well. I thought I'd just let you get on with it.
You've got to jump in and steer the ship, Captain.
It's unscripted. It don't matter.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Miss Lupo.
Yep.
What everyone was trying to tell us is that Wilmy Hood's program's on at 1 o'clock. It's 10 minutes to go go and watch it. So
yeah,
basically they want us to kind of wrap up in 10 minutes, is what they're saying.
Yes.
And that's fair enough, because that's probably what I'd like to do. I watch Wilmy Hood.
You want to do a show next week, or do you don't want to do a show? It'll be the 30th.
Well, I'm 30 again. Woohoo!
Do you want to do one? Probably actually do a retro program.
Yeah, we'll do a retro program and just discuss what we discussed this week. That was retro last year.
So, you know, I might be in Scotland next week.
Sorry, Mr. Tushi?
I might be in Scotland. I've been called out for a couple of days' work during the shutdown, so I've got to go down. I'll go fucking Scotland.
Oh my goodness!
I probably won't do one. I probably won't do one next week anyway. But...
We'll see.
It depends. I mean, I'm free if necessary, sort of thing. Yeah. Or you could do the very first week of January and make it a retro one. It's either way. Either way.
Stubbs, I've also got some great news. Guess what I'm getting tomorrow?
I don't know.
Drugs?
No, I am going to meet my cousin Lee, and we are exchanging some products of mine. I'm getting my Mega Drive, my Master System, my Dreamcast, the rest of my games, my controllers.
We'll give him a chance to catch up with all these retro games, then do one.
Yeah, I'm getting the rest of my stuff, and I can't wait.
He's a really nice chap, actually. A very nice chap.
He's a good guy.
He's looked after.
He struggles with him because he's pretty much he's deaf, and he when in the party chats he has to switch off because he can't concentrate with too many people talking.
Oh, can I?
He's alright with one or two. He can concentrate, but when there's like 20 people in the chat, he has to just mute everybody.
I can get 10 people in this part if you want 1 week, VJ. Or I get 10 people in.
Because that will be like a proverbial pain in my ass. You know, sometimes I have to be honest. When Mr. Tushi has about 700 people and like 900 of them all speaking all over each other, I end up just muting people and just texting Mr. Tushi via WhatsApp.
Yeah, you do. We had our first troll last week, didn't we?
Yeah, he came in at some crisps, didn't he?
Yeah, he just came in and started eating some crisps. Weirdo.
Looper, do you know who this guy was? The guy that came in, he was called Fear something, and all he kept doing was eating crisps. And then Xbox said, I'm muting this guy, and he vanished. But no one knows who he was or whose friend list he was on or anything.
He just came in the chat to eat a bag of crisps.
Can you remember it, Looper?
She can. She was moaning about him. He's saying
there was
disrespectful.
Yeah, I would say very unkind and very graceless.
But doesn't someone else eat on Xbox Live a lot?
How do you do that? How do you eat and play game?
Well, let me just be clear.
VJ does it. I think VJ
be really clear. I've got really good at it because during this show itself, I had 12 pieces of sushi.
Yep.
California rolls I had.
If you didn't drop it down with a bit of sake.
Oh no sake, not on the show. No, I can't drunk and do podcast. I can't be drinking and doing podcasting at the same time.
That's the one thing I miss: warm sake. I could do with that. That's. Oh.
I couldn't get drunk on stream.
Sake.
Do you think we could finish off the show by singing the national anthem?
Which one?
The English one.
Oh, Savaloy. Oh, Savaloy.
God almighty, do we have a grim national anthem? Almighty. Oh, dear. No wonder Mr. Tucci's heading up to Scotland. Okay, I think I'll just keep my jokes to myself.
We want to hear them.
Right. I'm just a bumbling,
Stubbs!
I wasn't joking. I actually muted BJ and Mr. Tushi for singing Savaloy.
Oh dear. I resent that.
Right, should we get out of here?
Yeah, give everyone time to start watching Wilmy Hoods.
Yep. He's got
Stream.
6 minutes and he's on.
I'm going to go back to play Gears 5. So I can be one of the lads. No, I'm just kidding.
I need to feed my cat.
Actually, Mr. Stubbs, the DLC, the Hive Busters, is that related to Gears 5 or is it a separate story?
It's separate.
Okay, great.
But
VJ, tomorrow, Gears 5.
Relates to some of, it relates to some of the ancestors. You see? I'll just, I don't want to go into it because I'll ruin it, but you will soon see. You said to me about Gears 5.
Yes, sir.
You said, they released that stupid thing at the Game Awards that year, where the Kate, her face go.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
Do you understand? Do you understand it yet or not?
I do understand it. She was just, she's just having a tough time.
That's not it.
No, I'm just kidding. No, the studio was showing off his facial animation techniques.
Yeah, that's not why.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I've got past the bit where there's a doctor who's harnessed himself in some sort of mobile television from the 1950s.
Oh, you're not far enough through. I won't say.
And her mother's something to do with whoever the invasion is, or the queen of the invasion. I don't know, something or other.
You're not close from finding out what that means, then.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Even if you told me, I'd probably forget.
I'm not telling you.
I don't find the story that compelling. It's decent. But I just really enjoy playing the game. I think I think they've done some things really, really well, and some things are blatantly like, okay, I don't really understand why. I've discussed it with Mr. Tushi, so maybe for another time we can.
There will be a whole podcast on this once you finish the game and the Hive Busters.
Maybe the end of next year.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
We will finish Gears 5 tomorrow.
Fantastic.
What time are you guys playing?
I'm free all day.
Me too.
No, I'm going to pick up my console stuff. I'll be back in the afternoon.
Okay, if it's an evening thing, I can probably join about 10 p.m. onwards.
Well, it'll be in the afternoon anyway, because say for example 12 o'clock in our time is like 6 in the morning. Well, no, 4 in the morning for VJ. So even though he is awake now.
Yeah, I'm
every day
like that. Yeah, but
I'm normally okay from 10 onwards.
I'll try to do as much of it as I can tonight, Mr. Tushi, so that we can finish it off and then get ready for Hive Busters together. Or if not, we can play some Sea of Thieves, because I'd like to play the Sea of Thieves with the 4 of us at some point if we ever can. It'd be nice.
Nice to get.
Yeah, I should download it really.
Download.
Get off the podcast.
Download it.
Hasn't got it.
I told you I played the beta and I played the very first beginning of it, and then I kind of got rid of it.
Mr. Stubbs, somebody needs to be kicked off.
Mute him.
Someone needs to be kicked off the show. I wish I could lob a petrol bomb in his way, but
what happened?
It's your homework now to re-download that game.
It will be done tonight. Don't you worry. I'll download it tonight.
Movable. What happened to our discussion about being courteous and respectful, and then you go and throw one liner like that in?
Listen, I've got so many things happening at the moment. I was saving myself in terms of stuff. I have actually deleted some games because my hard drive's just getting a bit too large. And unfortunately, as I said, I haven't played that for ages, so that kind of was one that went.
Is that another euphemism there?
Alas, not.
Oh dear.
Who's got the big hard drive?
Mr. Tushi has.
Yeah.
Now he's got a new skin on it.
I've got 4 skins. 3 on the Series X and 1 on the controller.
So anyway, thanks for stopping by, everyone. It's been a bit of a random show. I knew it would be. It went everywhere, but a lot of you seem to have stuck through. Thanks, Z Black Rider, Dragon Wolf, Pong Soul, Assassin Looper, Mass Mayhem UK, Indie Gamer,
Dread,
Dazinator, Dreadpool.
Daz has been funny in the chat today.
So many.
He always is, to be fair.
I'll let you all get off to Womanhood's podcast now. So I will. I don't know if we're doing the show next week. I'll let you all know on Twitter. I will.
Absolutely.
I will wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I hope Santa releases his sack in your bedroom.
Oh my god.
And wipes residue on the curtains.
Oh,
May your Christmases be white.
You can see that this panel uses a significant amount of brain power when conducting these shows.
If I can think of certain podcasts, you get chucked off for saying that.
What, my bit or Mr. Tushi's bit?
No, it's Tushi's bit.
What's that?
I can think of one BJ goes on. He won't be impressed. Right.
That's it, Mr. Stubb. That's exactly what you should be doing there. Sitting there, holding your end up and commanding respect.
Anyway, thanks everyone, and I'll see you all soon.
Have a good one. Have a great
Bye-bye.
Christmas.
It's nice.